The first thing I did after becoming a zombie. Instead, he was collecting milk powder and diapers everywhere. All because I adopted a human baby girl. All the zombies mocked me for being a fool. But what they didn't know was, this baby girl was actually the reincarnation of the Human Empress. She once fought across the land, enduring countless life and death tribulations. Countless foreign powerhouses have been killed. In the end, he was ambushed during the tribulation, killed by the queen of the starry sky Zerg. Now, she has been reborn back 50 years ago in the early days of the apocalypse, only that he turned into a baby. And as soon as I crossed over into this world, I was attacked by zombies. In the end, he also turned into a zombie. Fortunately, human consciousness was preserved. I leaned on frozen meat found in the store fridge. Survived for a month. Now, the meat in the fridge is starting to rot, although zombies feed on rotten flesh. But with my human mindset, I absolutely cannot accept it. No way. I had no choice but to disguise myself as an ordinary zombie. Go out to look for food. Just imagine me entering a household. When getting ready to enter the kitchen, suddenly, he heard a baby crying from next door. When I pried open the bedroom door, I found the interior cozy. This stands in stark contrast to the bloodstains in the living room. On that bed, there's actually a baby girl 6 or 7 months old crying loudly. It must have been that couple in their final moments. Lock the bedroom door. Protect children. Meanwhile, Yun Ruoxue was utterly hopeless. He had finally been reborn. Unexpectedly, the first person she saw wasn't her parents, but a zombie he hadn't eaten for a long time. On top of that, the overwhelming terror at this moment. Yun Ruoxue, 在生理恐惧与饥饿之下, Chung fainted. Looking at this little one's appearance, I was a bit startled by the guard, although only 5 or 6 months old, but his eyes reveal sorrow and helplessness. This world, I actually felt a bit empathy. The little one and I both came into this world by inexplicable reason, and then, unluckily, I encountered the pitiful people facing the apocalypse crisis, and this new life suddenly appearing before their eyes. It was like a light in the darkness. It helped me find a new direction, so I decided to adopt this little one. But I suddenly realized, the little one seemed to be fainting from hunger. Meanwhile, the milk powder can in the room was already empty. I decided to go out and get some milk powder. I closed the door locked in the bedroom by the little one, and moved the sofa to the door. Prevent zombies from entering. After failing to find food in the kitchen, I could only go upstairs to search. The third-floor corridor was covered in dry, dark brown blood. There were also indescribable fragments of limbs on the ground, even with the unit door open, but it still rotted and unbearable. There were even several zombies with mutilated bodies in the hallway. I've long been used to this. They directly ransacked the houses. I searched several kitchens in a row, but couldn't find any formula. Only a small amount of raw meat that had not completely rotted was found, until they searched for a household on the 5th floor. The mistress has turned into a zombie, and her child had already been swallowed whole. I fell into 8 silences. If the little one isn't locked inside the bedroom, I'm afraid the outcome will be the same. Fortunately, I found 2 unopened cans of milk powder in the kitchen, and 2 gene, raw meat that hasn't spoiled yet. Yun Ruoxue dazedly tasted the milk and gulped it down 8 mouths. She instinctively sucked in water. After receiving energy replenishment, he struggled to open his eyes, but he found out he wasn't dead. There was even a lost ruler head. Just like a wet nurse, she fed herself with a spoon. In her memories from her previous life, zombies are monsters that only know how to be bloodthirsty. She even solved it herself. A companion who turns into a zombie. Could it be that this zombie wants to raise me up and then eat me? I don't know. What was the little guy thinking? He only saw her quiet again, completely relaxed in his heart. But the little one hadn't eaten for a long time. After I finished feeding a bowl of formula. But she hadn't eaten enough. But for a moment, I forgot I was a zombie. I was about to speak, but he found himself letting out a low growl. Damn, I shut my mouth. Turned around silently. It took 3 bowls of formula in a row to feed her. I sighed at how hard it is to raise children. I realized I should bring more formula from now on. Fortunately, formula can be stored sealed for a long time. No need to worry about it breaking. After Yun Ruoxue had eaten her fill, contentedly lying in the crib, she found it utterly outrageous. The aura emanating from this zombie before him. It's obvious that this one has just been transformed. And a tier 1 zombie with very low strength. And zombies of this level simply couldn't have intelligence. But she couldn't figure out what was going on at all. But as an empress who has experienced various life and death crises, Yun Ruoxue gradually calmed down, though he still felt fear in his heart. But thinking about it, even if the zombies really wanted to eat her, she could still be a full ghost now, and no longer worry too much. Nervous tension caused by days of hunger and panic. Now completely relaxed, Yun Ruoxue couldn't help but drift into a deep sleep. I looked at the little one's sleeping face. He couldn't help but curl his lips into a smile. This was the first time I felt peace and beauty. But if you leave a few months old in place, there is no doubt that he will die. So I decided to take her away. This is an old 7-story residential building. The current 2nd floor is not safe. The 7th floor, as the top floor, is relatively safe. Perhaps it's because the community is old. The number of zombies in the community was not high, but these zombies were already starving. I wouldn't dare to show off the little guy in public. So I grabbed a crowbar and easily struck his head from behind. Deal with the zombies on the road. After settling the little one, I took a bath for myself. Change into clean clothes. At this moment, aside from the wounds and twisting the wounds, I am no different from ordinary humans. But the most important thing is, I was in a room. I found a relatively complete selection of baby products. It was probably the family after the zombie outbreak. Flee in panic and leave behind. Maybe it's because I've been active lately. His limbs have become very stiff after turning into zombies. It seems to have become much more coordinated. It can even perform some simple human actions. Although I was puzzled by this, but I did not think much of it. All his attention was on Yun Ruoxue. Just as I was about to change her diaper, Yun Ruoxue was in her mind. Suddenly, an astonishing thought popped into my mind. If she had just been confused when feeding me before. So now, regarding the matter of changing diapers, she directly confirmed that I might have retained human consciousness. When recalling the details of our first encounter, she found that she was different from other zombies. I will turn the door handle, use a crowbar to pry open the door. They also prepare formula for feeding. But none of them matched the instincts of an ordinary first-tier zombie. She became even more convinced that I had preserved my human consciousness. It is believed that only human will exist. Only then can the bloodthirsty instincts of zombies be suppressed. But the next second, Yun Ruoxue's eyes widened. The zombie before her. No matter how you look at it, she doesn't seem like a woman. Unexpectedly, his lifelong purity was ruined by diapers. But she quickly let go. After all, being reborn was already a blessing. And it was this zombie who saved his life. Such a small matter shouldn't be trivial. Yun Ruoxue saw my stiff body, still foolishly changing her diaper. My heart was both moved and heartbroken. She imagined that I once had a happy family. But after facing the apocalypse, he turned into a zombie. And this loneliness and pain of being unable to fit into any group. It touched the softest part of her heart. So she decided to accept me, become her zombie dad. After I finished tidying up my new home, considering the food needs of me and the little one, decide to stock up on food. But going out during the day arouses survivor suspicions. It's easy to expose yourself and the little one. So I chose to act at night. Before leaving, I not only closed the bedroom door, they even blocked the stairwell with cabinets. Guard against zombies and humans intruding. I have gambled many times just to survive. Ruthless behavior. Even the dark side of human nature during the apocalypse. Therefore, he was especially cautious. I tied the iron gate on the first floor tightly. Only then did they begin searching for supplies. Although nearby residential areas have limited single cargo reserves. But little by little, there's also plenty of food. After packing the mountain climbing pack, I carried a large amount of formula into the night again. But I suddenly sensed something was wrong. Only then did they realize the moon hanging high in the sky was already bright red. Meanwhile, when Yun Ruoxue woke up, she found the room empty. She comfortably relieved herself in the diaper. Suddenly, I saw the blood moon outside the window. It seems the era of global evolution is about to begin. Though I see the blood moon, I'm startled and guarded. But because they're in a world of zombie apocalypse, and I've seen similar scenes in science fiction movies, and they quickly accepted this phenomenon. He believed this was the scene the end of the world should have. I started moving supplies nonstop. He didn't even spare books or readings. But for the 4th round trip, suddenly, I felt something was wrong with my body. A scorching heat surged within the icy body. It felt both strange and familiar to me. It was as if he had returned to his previous days. But right after, my brain started itching unbearably. It felt as if his brain was about to explode. I suspect that human consciousness is about to disappear. He was about to become a pure, bloodthirsty zombie. My heart was thrown into panic. Except for me. Even other zombies. Under the moonlight, the same changes appeared as I did. The survivors' bodies bathed in moonlight were also heating up. Blood flow in the body accelerates. Even bones become tougher. And in the bedroom, Yun Ruoxue. It was also shrouded in blood-red moonlight. Her petite body trembled slightly. I had a fever all over. I don't know how long it took. I finally sobered up. Although no significant changes were observed in the surrounding environment. But at first, take action. I noticed my agility had become even more agile. No longer as stiff as when he was a zombie. I was amazed at what I discovered. The black veins on his body faded. Hair grew back on the top of her head. Even the zombies roaming the streets have changed. The original look of treating nausea, becoming somewhat resembling someone. I felt a surge of secret delight inside. It seems this world isn't as simple as he thought. When I passed by a zombie, but a strange feeling welled up inside him. I always felt a sense of distance between myself and this zombie. There's a thread. I was so scared I thought I was hallucinating. But I suddenly realized I seemed to have some special abilities. It can inject thoughts into zombies through threads. It's like controlling a puppet. When I focused, he found that his connection with zombies was growing ever closer, and successfully controlled the zombies to perform complex actions. I named this ability corpse control, and after repeated checks, I found out. Currently, he can control up to 2 zombies at the same time, and the distance is too far. Orders cannot be issued accurately. I think it might be related to my own mental strength. Then I named the zombies I controlled as corpse puppets. When I felt a bit tired, suddenly, I thought of Yin Ruoxue, who was home alone. The real thing is controlling 2 corpse puppets, carrying the collected supplies. He quickly rushed toward the residential complex. I have to say, zombies are truly born to be beasts of war. You can skip food and drink and don't get paid. Meanwhile, after the bloody night baptism, Yin Ruoxue awakened from her fragrant sleep. After a flood of information flooded his mind, her eyes were full of excitement. Unlike the talent awakened in his previous life, this time, she even awakened the ability to control telekinesis. He can control objects through his own will. What surprised her the most was, she actually regained it. Time control ability from a previous life. Both talents have the potential to become top-tier powerhouses. In her previous life, she only controlled by time, and thus attained the position of Empress. Not to mention that in this life, he awakened dual talents. It could perform wonderfully on both offense and defense. After Yin Ruoxue tried using her ability, but because the baby's body was too weak, after a while, she experienced tingling pain and fainting symptoms in her mind, even though his mental strength was currently very weak. But she remains full of hope for the future. Believe that as you grow, his future strength will far surpass his previous life. He even began to fantasize about growing up. Defeat the Zer Queen who killed him in his previous life. Suddenly, there was a commotion outside the house. Yin Ruoxue guessed. It was his zombie dad who had returned. She couldn't help but be curious now. Zombies with human consciousness. After baptism, could it awaken special abilities like humans? But I saw the wardrobe in the hallway untouched. I breathed a sigh of relief. This is after I arrived in this world. For the first time, I felt a sense of longing. Easily moved the wardrobe aside. Rushed to the bedroom. Seeing Yin Ruoxue awake, she looked at me obediently. Although I have never even been in a relationship, but at that moment, I actually felt like a father. Then I walked into the kitchen. But due to water and electricity outages, only bottled water is allowed. Prepare formula for the little one. While I was mixing the milk powder, Yin Ruoxue was also sizing up her zombie father. She noticed I was changing, but it's not obvious. But now he has somewhat human form. This was different from the type of zombie evolution she remembered. In my previous life, zombies had multiple evolutionary types. For example, tank-type zombies become abnormally tall and muscular in size. Outstanding resistance to impact. Like main battle tanks on the battlefield. It is the survivor's dream. But she originally had feelings for me, a special kind of zombie. There are high expectations for evolution after the Blood Night. After all, it was the apocalypse. Strong strength is the key to survival. But I didn't change much. She couldn't help but feel disappointed. So Yin Ruoxue secretly made up her mind. When she grows up, you need to have the strength to protect me. She knew very well that if it weren't for me, he was reborn as a baby. He will surely die in this apocalypse. She always repaid kindness, especially with such a tremendous favor. You raise me young. I will support you for old age. It should never be just empty words. Not to mention, she knew the main ways zombies evolved. The main way of evolution is by devouring living beings. Besides, it preyed on the crystal cores in the zombies' brains. Those strange zombies who had awakened supernatural abilities, no matter what kind it is, will form crystal cores in their minds. She was confident that she would rely on the advantages she gained after her rebirth. Crystal cores. Help me evolve into a high-level zombie. By then, I will have language skills. The body will also transform into a human. I don't know what the little guy is thinking. I just saw her staring at me with longing eyes. I found it very funny, although I couldn't speak. But he still gestured to this little guy. He wanted to tell her that he had arranged 2 zombie bodyguards. He also prepared toys for her. Of course, except for toys. I even brought 5 years of mock exams and 3 years of college entrance exam materials. I suddenly realized I hadn't named Yin Ruoxue yet. After some thought, since we live on the 7th floor. So he decided to give her the nickname Chi-Chi. Hope for this name. It allows us to cherish the wonderful times of our small home on the 7th floor. I was satisfied with the supplies collected overnight. I thought it was enough for me and Chi-Chi to eat for a long time. And considering the uncertainty of the end times, I decided to observe at home for a while. Make sure you're safe before going out. I went to the living room. He picked up a long stalk, a steel machete about half a meter long. I don't know who the original owner of this house was. What kind of work did he actually do to actually have it? Such a long and very sharp machete. Though he had never studied sword techniques, but with the zombie's powerful physical strength, I can swing a machete smoothly. I ponder the moves from martial arts novels and movies, rehearsing in the living room. Now I must be able to hold the knife easily, and with one against the enemy. And just as I was practicing my blade techniques, after Yin Ruashu rested for a while, so he began to ponder his own innate abilities again. Control over the newly awakened psychic power. She focused her telekinesis to control the silver needle on the nightstand. Although the control speed is currently slow, but the silver needle still glides through the air. Time flew by like that. 2 days passed. Both of them lived very fulfilling lives. After I finished feeding Yin Ruashue, hearing movement outside, seen through the balcony window, on the street, 2 zombies fighting over food without fighting. They tore at each other and fought. This abnormal behavior, it goes beyond my understanding of zombie habits. Because the 7th floor is too high, it's hard to see clearly. Or simply go down to the 4th floor to check the situation. One zombie was nearly 2 meters long, powerful, extremely robust. The other zombie had a slender torso, but its claws are as sharp as heads. A robust tank-type zombie with strong defense. Agile zombies have high attack power, but breaking through the defenses is difficult. After a chaotic battle, tank zombies rely on immense strength. Knock away agile zombies. The final punch shattered its head, killing it. He then pulled a white crystal core from his head. I believe these 2 zombies are far stronger than I am. Feeling shocked. Fortunately, I was cautious and didn't go out. It seems this world is even more cruel than imagined. 自己绝不能因进化而沾沾自喜. And when they saw the tank zombie pull out its crystal core, a strong desire welled up in my heart. Instinctively, he felt that this crystal core was beneficial to his body. Could it be that the battle between these 2 zombies, it was all to compete for the crystal core in the other's head? I saw the big zombie eat the white crystal core. He beat his chest excitedly and roared. Then he slammed the surrounding vehicles hard. Some ordinary zombies nearby, upon hearing the commotion, crowding and lingering. Then everyone chose to keep their distance. Instinctively, he felt fear toward this zombie. I guess crystal cores might enhance the abilities of zombies after evolution, especially the primal craving that arises when seeing the crystal core, far beyond the desire for flesh and blood. If they could eat the crystal core, it definitely improves the ability to control zombies. But now, it was clear he was no match for this guy. Suddenly, I saw the gas tank behind the kitchen. He immediately thought of a clever strategy. Meanwhile, Yin Ruashue also heard the commotion outside, although he couldn't see what was happening downstairs. But relying on the experience of rebirth, she guessed that after the blood moon, the world entered a peak of evolution. Zombies and ferocious beasts fight each other for evolution. Human survivors began hunting for crystal cores. Later, he even developed cultivation methods. As for Yin Ruashue, the peerless empress of the human race, what she had cultivated in her previous life, it is the top-tier glazed breathing technique. Yin Ruashue understood her zombie father. As an ordinary low-level zombie, it's hard to survive in the apocalypse. He had to quickly improve his strength to protect the 2 of them. Although now he is just a baby, but he could also cultivate the glazed breathing technique. He began cultivating using the energy factors permeating the air after the blood moon. After circulating the cultivation technique, her body trembled. The energy factor slowly entered Ba's body. Yin Ruashue was grateful for her rebirth. Said in the early apocalypse, he was able to use the glazed breathing technique to cultivate. A large amount of energy factor surged into Ba's body. Make her bones tougher. Even the weak psychic power was strengthened. When I returned to the bedroom from downstairs, seeing her trembling, I thought she caught a cold. He hurriedly grabbed a blanket and tucked it over her. Yin Ruashue was startled awake. Seeing my worried expression was amusing. At the same time, he feels the warmth of fatherly love from his zombie father. She grew up in an orphanage in her previous life, experiencing the warmth and coldness of human feelings. This was the first time she felt a father's love. Seeing that Xiao Chi-Chi was fine, I began to ponder how to deal with the zombie outside. Such a dangerous bomb. It must be resolved as soon as possible. Evening. I sent out corpse puppet number 1, controlled by my mind. Go pick it out inside the shop. Tank zombies digesting crystal core power. After the zombie doll hits the tank zombie with a flower pot, turn around and run. He successfully led him to a shop where gas cylinders had been arranged in advance. Corpse puppet number 1 had just run into the shop. The tank zombie charged fiercely. The massive body crashed directly into the room. He smashed my corpse puppet to pieces right away. At this moment, corpse puppet number 2 enters the 8th shop. Shut the door. He also used a lighter to ignite the gas canister. Tank zombies taking the blow head-on. From the sea of fire, they let out piercing screams. When it struggled to escape from the shop, he collapsed headfirst at the door. After the gas cylinder exploded, I quickly pulled away from my control over the corpse puppet, seeing the big zombie burn to charcoal and lying at the doorway. I waited for more than 10 minutes. After confirming the zombie was completely dead, only then did he muster up the courage to approach. Getting closer, I found the zombie's burned beyond recognition. His body suffered severe damage. I swung my machete. It took a lot of effort to break open the back of the zombie's head. Discovered a crystal core with a hint of white and red. This crystal core is tempting me. It is stronger than the pure self-color crystal cores seen before. According to observations, the pure white crystal core is the evolution of zombies, produced by devouring other zombies. And this red-tinted crystal core was clearly a higher grade. As the zombies were gradually drawn in by the firelight, I put away the crystal core. He chose 2 zombies with healthy limbs. As a new corpse puppet, I put away the crystal core. He chose 2 zombies with healthy limbs. As a new corpse puppet, after returning to the residential community, arranged for the new corpse to guard the door downstairs. I went to the 3rd floor myself. After confirming safety, I couldn't suppress my inner desire for the crystal core, and swallowed it into 8 abdomen, while tempering the body with crystal cores. The skin further transforms into a human form. Besides improving appearance, his physical strength and agility, among others, both have made slight improvements. After a brief period of bloating, my mind became especially clear. The 5 senses become even sharper. Controlling zombies is also much more effortless. Currently, he can control 5 zombies at once. It also gained new capabilities for shared vision. He broke through the previous limitation of only being able to control corpse puppets within his line of sight. Now it can be controlled remotely. Tested. The radiation limit of telekinesis is 1 dry meter. Within this range, I don't need to show up in person, and then control the corpse puppet to move. This greatly enhances their ability to survive. Yun Ruashua heard the explosion at the shop, and the roar of the evolved zombies. She herself is on the 7th floor and isn't worried about being exposed. But I have not returned yet, but made her feel very fond of it. She knew well that in her own baby's condition, facing advanced zombies whose combat power had been enhanced, there is no chance of winning. She understood the dangers of encountering such zombies. All I can do is pray to the heavens. Don't let her lose this zombie dad who gives her fatherly love. He originally wanted to continue practicing the glazed breathing technique, and because of his anxiety, he simply couldn't continue. At this moment, the sound of a door opening came from outside. Yun Ruashua immediately breathed a sigh of relief. A smile appeared on his face as well. After all, only he, the zombie dad, could unlock and open the door. After I came back, seeing Yun Ruashua's smiling expression, warmth in the heart, thinking about how his own strength improved and he could better protect her, then he happily walked into the kitchen to make formula for her. Watching her drink the sweet milk, I only feel my rotten body, all radiated a vibrant vitality. In the 2 days after his strength increased, I controlled the corpse puppet with telekinesis. Search for supplies nearby. Several floors downstairs are used as warehouses. Besides collecting baby supplies and food, they also found many tools to deal with zombies. These days, although the daily routine is basically the same every day, but inside I still felt very fulfilled. After all, he could clearly feel it. Their strength is constantly growing. And Yun Ruashua drinks milk every day. It was about cultivating the glazed breathing technique. She occasionally heard faint sounds from the living room, recalling the anomaly from the past 2 days. I guess I've already encountered it. Evolved into extraordinary zombies with special abilities. She deeply understood the power of evolved zombies. Its pressure and combat power far surpass ordinary zombies. Besides, ordinary zombies are in this transformed world. They are at the bottom of the ranks, facing human survivors. Zombies of the same kind, and the multiple threats posed by mutated ferocious beasts. She was moved by me. Even in difficult times, she never gave up taking care of herself. It reminds me of the extinction of humanity in the apocalypse. He felt even more like a zombie dad. It is rare and precious to preserve the brilliance of humanity. After much training, her psychic power strength increased dramatically. He can control silver needles to fly at extremely high speeds, combined with time management skills. She was confident she could kill silently. Combined with time management skills. She was confident she could kill silently. But she was not satisfied with that. To survive in the apocalypse, they still need to become stronger. Meanwhile, when I sent the corpse puppet to search nearby buildings for supplies, discover the original owner of a house, possibly a fighting enthusiast. Thus, many combat textbooks were left behind. It records various close-quarters combat techniques. I have physical fitness myself. After evolving into zombies, he is stronger than ordinary people. Now his body was no longer stiff. This allows for more effortless learning and perform complex combat moves. Although the zombies' attack methods are primitive and brutal, but humans develop their brains. A modern combat move summarized here. More scientific and effective. Although his evolution direction was no longer close combat with physical weapons, but I think scientific fighting techniques. It can make up for the gap in physical fitness. You can also take advantage of zombies' fearlessness of being bitten. Fight with weapons at maximum efficiency. After mastering some fighting techniques and training, control the stone puppet to the living room on the 6th floor. After lifting the telekinesis control, they directly became my sparring partners. You know, no one can stop the zombie society's martial arts. But after practical training, I found out, relying solely on theoretical study and self-exploration, it is simply insufficient to handle real confrontation scenarios. Only real combat. That's what hones the sense of distance. The top priority is mastering the opponent's reaction and judgment abilities. After repeated trials, I have made significant progress in combat, facing a frontal attack from ordinary zombies, and can handle it with ease. From a combat novice to a newbie, a skilled fighter with certain skills, and I found myself able to multitask while practicing martial arts. While controlling the corpse puppet, he searched for supplies. Observe the surroundings through shared corpse puppet vision. At this moment, I found the 3rd floor of Building 1 in Sunshine Community. 2 zombies were looting supplies. Then, a blood-red figure suddenly appeared. The speed was terrifying, if not for the marks left on the ground. I even thought I was seeing things. I controlled the corpse puppet to track the blood-red figure. Finally, a few minutes later, he got a clear look at the zombie. Its image is extremely twisted and terrifying. Not only does the skin peel, his teeth and tongue also became unusually strange. His hands and feet mutated into fierce beast claws, lost the ability to stand. It can only crawl on all fours, but it possesses unparalleled speed and powerful explosiveness. It can easily climb across walls and ceilings. Facing this blood-red zombie, my zombie doll showed fear, and this zombie was incredibly fast. It instantly killed the 2 corpse puppets I controlled. What kind of monster is this? After returning to the main body, I still felt a lingering fear. After the blood moon, some zombies have evolved abilities beyond imagination. His current strength was far from enough to compete with him, even if 5 corpse puppets attacked together, where they could be instantly killed. Now I can only pin my hopes. This blood-red zombie, he wouldn't come to Building 5, where he was. I dare not waste time. I practice fighting zombies every day. Improve strength. A week later, in the living room on the 6th floor, facing the siege of 3 burly zombies, I can handle tight spaces flexibly and seize the right moment with unique techniques. Quickly defeat the zombies. While practicing martial arts, I had the corpse puppets search for supplies while searching for the movements of the evolved zombies. Monsters like blood-red zombies are hard to deal with. You shouldn't pick someone before you have enough strength. And like the big zombie I encountered before, and agile zombies, relatively easier to deal with. After these days of exploration, I have already discovered that kind of crystal core. Most of these are produced only in the brains of evolved zombies. Meanwhile, in the bedroom on the 7th floor, Yin Ruoxue, a baby, from the very beginning, moving the silver needle was exhausting. Now, he can make his baby body float 1 or 2 centimeters. For humans, flying in the air is probably everyone's dream, although Yin Ruoxue still cannot achieve this. But after this period of continuous training, now at last he had some ability to protect himself in the apocalypse. Actually, she didn't know. If those large survivor camps find out, would probably all swarm to recruit her. Though an infant, he could still keep his body suspended. This achievement is simply astonishing. After finishing the combat training on the 6th floor, I control zombie puppets to deal with dismantled zombies. Just as she was about to go upstairs to feed Chi-Chi, the corpse puppet responsible for gathering resources made a new discovery. Not far away. One was slender in size, but the agile zombie with a greatly increased speed, chasing a pale, gaunt human survivor. This survivor ran out of food after stockpiling food, forced to go out and look for food. Unfortunately, I encountered the evolved zombie I had been searching for a long time. The agile zombie was extremely fast. Perfect drifting is achieved by passing through the car door with sharp claws. I saw this scene, realizing the opportunity had arrived. Ever since devouring the crystal core, after experiencing an energy surge, I am determined to become stronger. He immediately dispatched corpse dolls. Follow and monitor this agile zombie. I'll leave a corpse puppet to monitor its movements. He also dispatched 4 corpse figures armed with fire axes to rush over. After the 5 corpse puppets gathered, I had them disguise themselves as ordinary zombies. Keep an appropriate distance. They gradually approached in a semi-encirclement formation. Agile zombies consuming human flesh and blood. The reason for this arrangement is, this is because agile zombies are fast. If you act rashly, the corpse is a figurine. The entire army could be wiped out. When only 10 meters from the agile zombie, I controlled 5 corpse puppets to suddenly charge. Agile zombies rely on their speed. Dodged most attacks, but because of my semi-encirclement strategy, his right arm and back were still slashed. But a corpse puppet got stuck between the zombie's ribs because of an axe. The agile zombie angrily tore his head apart. I controlled 2 corpse puppets to attack head-on, attract the zombie's attention. The other 2 corpse puppets took the opportunity to resume their attacks. The agile zombie did knock back the frontal support zombie, but he still couldn't dodge the horizontal slash at his waist. Large chunks of flesh were cut off. Injured agile zombie's burst speed. He tore apart the head of a corpse puppet again. However, the other 3 corpse puppets quickly rushed forward. Agile zombies ultimately cannot escape. Dense axe attacks. Ultimately killed. After successfully killing an agile zombie, I manipulated the remaining corpse puppets to dig out the crystal core. After returning to the community, I arranged for the corpse puppet to guard the building's gate. He took the crystal core to the 6th floor. He found that this crystal core was the same as the one he had devoured before. It is a white crystal core with a hint of red. It seems this agile-type zombie has also devoured crystal cores. I swallowed the crystal core. Once again, feel pounds of energy sweeping through your entire body. After the process ended, their strength has been significantly enhanced. At this point, he could control 10 zombies. The control range is as high as 3 kilometers. Excited by the increase in strength, I selected 10 strong zombies from a horde, equipped them with fire axes. He formed a formidable zombie squad. Looking at this squad, I was full of confidence. Imagine building a massive zombie army, relying on powerful telekinesis. Fight alongside numerous corpse puppets across the land. He even planned to go for a brutal troop strategy. But I have not forgotten the terrifying blood-red monster in Building 1. After fighting agile zombies today, the contrast makes it even more terrifying. Currently, there are 10 corpse puppets, but we know too little about monsters. Victory is hard to guarantee. He decided to send the corpse puppet in a few days to test the waters, to understand its true strength. After all, this monster is like a ticking time bomb. It makes it hard for me to feel at ease. In 3 days, I converted the 6th floor into a training room. By battling zombies, I found that my physical fitness has improved comprehensively through evolution. I nodded in satisfaction. In this state of mind, he looked just like a survivor of the apocalypse. After training, I control the corpse puppet to clear the remnants of the battle. After washing away the bloodstains on his body, go back to the 7th floor and feed Xiao Chi-Chi. Looking at the little one's innocent smile. Go back to the 7th floor and feed Xiao Chi-Chi. Looking at the little one's innocent smile, I couldn't help but smile slightly. The little one's appetite was getting better and better. After feeding, I teased Xiao Chi-Chi with some scavenged toys. Yin Ruoxue looked at her zombie father, using clumsy tricks to tease himself. For a moment, he was speechless, although he appeared like a baby on the surface. But inside, he was mature and calm. A ruthless and decisive empress of unparalleled power. But after all, this was also a gesture of goodwill from his zombie father. He could only smile. But unexpectedly, after seeing her cooperative smile, work even harder, Yin Ruoxue's eyelids twitched involuntarily. That's all. Just think of it as training your telekinesis. After spending time with Yin Ruoxue, I decided to test the strength of the blood color monster in Building 1. from a horde of ordinary zombies. He selected 10 tall and muscular corpse puppets, hold fire axes for them. The momentum was formidable. Not enough. It reminds me of the electric bike shop selling helmets on the street corner. He then took the corpse puppet and smashed open the shop door. And each corpse was made into a pair, equipped with a fully wrapped motorcycle helmet. After all, a zombie's head is a fatal weakness. Nappa's body was torn apart. As long as the head wasn't smashed, he could still flip and give his opponent a one. Once everything was ready, I remotely controlled this rebranded corpse puppet squad. They marched grandly toward Building 1, because his telekinesis radiates up to 3 kilometers. 且甚至近战不敌. I ultimately chose to take command steadily in Building 5, corpse puppet squad from the first floor. He began carefully inspecting every room and corner. Pay special attention to the ceiling. This was to guard against sudden attacks from blood-red monsters that excel at scaling walls and rooftops. Soon, the corpse puppet had finished searching 4 floors. Still no trace of the blood-colored monster was found. This was to guard against sudden attacks from blood-red monsters that excel at scaling walls and rooftops. Soon, the corpse puppet had finished searching 4 floors. Still no trace of the blood-colored monster was found. But they don't know. The blood-red monster lay in the dead corner of the 5th floor like a spider. On the way up the corpse puppet, the monster suddenly launched an attack. With one strike, the corpse doll closest to the door was sent flying. Fortunately, the helmet protected the corpse doll from death. I quickly controlled the ruler puppet group to counterattack. Swing a fire axe to attack. If Yun Ruoxue were present, she would definitely recognize him at a glance. The zombie before him. It was the liquor zombie evolved from the apocalypse. In Yun Ruoxue's memories from her previous life, this zombie was in the early apocalypse. This caused tremendous casualties among human survivors. At this point, the liquor was enraged. Its claws moved swiftly. Several corpse puppets were knocked away. But the corpse puppet is under my control, ignoring his own injuries. She clung tightly to his hand. Then the other corpse puppets swung their axes down on the head. The liquor was surrounded by the corpse puppet, although he successfully dodged out. But he was still struck repeatedly. I tried to have several corpse puppets slash the same spot in succession. In the end, under my control, the 3 corpse puppets joined forces to sever one of the liquor's arms. The injured liquor jumped onto the ceiling. I control the corpse puppet to launch an axe-throwing attack. But the liquor is just too fast, and the low-level corpse puppet he controlled was powerful, and the accuracy drops sharply. The liquors smash the glass and escape to the building's exterior wall, disappearing from sight. I curse myself for underestimating his strength, although well prepared, but he still managed to escape. This licking zombie moved swiftly. He could walk on the outer wall of a building as if walking on flat ground. This escape, it may alert them or even retaliate against them. I'm glad I put a helmet on the zombie doll, which reduced the losses. But right now, what worries me the most? It was this blood-colored monster. If one day he sneaks into Building 5, that would be a disaster. If it finds the little one, when the time comes, I'll climb up from the outer wall. It's simply impossible to guard against. I quickly adjusted my mood, developed a defensive plan, arranged 3 strong corpse puppets, fully armed patrol in Building 5. That way, even if the monster sneaks in, he could also be informed in time. At the same time, send out other zombie puppets to search for other evolved zombies. Originally, devouring 2 crystal cores would enhance his strength. It already excites me greatly. But this blood-red monster made me realize he was still just a little Karami. At this moment, Yun Ruoxue was in the bedroom on the 7th floor. At this moment, he was controlling 2 cloth dolls, flying endlessly in midair. As an empress of her generation, she herself didn't like this kind of thing, but to keep my good intentions in check. And later I found out, practicing telekinesis with rag dolls is also very good. At that moment, he sensed I had returned. Yun Ruoxue immediately hugged the doll into her arms. I came in and saw her happily playing. Her emotions were instantly healed. The little guy found this world too dark and ruined. I hope you won't be disappointed in this world when you grow up. You will definitely be able to be like you are now. Grow up carefree. Hopefully, both of us can do it. Continue living through this apocalypse. I looked at the bedroom window and immediately became serious. Then go out and bring back the wooden planks and nails to seal the windows. Clouds like snow. He looked at his zombie dad with some confusion. Now the windows are closed again. Could it be this zombie dad? He could feel the overwhelming power of the evolved zombies. So she was so scared that she wanted to escape the chaos of the outside world. After much thought, this was the most reasonable reason. It seems her zombie father really is a coward. But she missed an option. That is, I was actually protecting her. That's why I did all this series of things. And after the blood moon, Many evolvers have also emerged among humans. At first, facing ordinary zombies, Huandu fled in panic. But later on, even ordinary humans, it can also easily hunt down these low-level zombies. At this point, I was still driving nails in the process. After a while, finally, the window was finished. Defense. The window closure is a hole I left for light and ventilation. This ensures defense. Nor did he let Yin Ruoxua live in a stifling environment. And fight for yourself. Reaction time to deal with blood-colored monsters. 3 days later, although the blood-colored monster had not appeared, I still arranged for the corpse puppet to patrol Building 5, and dared not take it lightly. Suddenly, I felt a wave of mental turbulence in my mind. A corpse doll. While searching for supplies at a convenience store 2 streets away, several human survivors were encountered. The survivors initially thought they were ordinary zombies. Isn't she terrified when she sees the corpse puppet turning back to confirm its identity? One of them was a strong man named Taiju. Grabbing an iron rod, he charged at the corpse puppet. I controlled the corpse puppet and fought back with a fire axe. I was shocked as soon as we clashed. A corpse puppet of his own choice. They are all relatively strong and well-built. And the zombies themselves are strong. I was shocked as soon as we clashed. A corpse puppet of his own choice. They are all relatively strong and well-built. And the zombies themselves are strong. Is a bit larger than ordinary humans. But I didn't expect this man to be so strong. The powerful force coming from the steel pipe. The corpse puppet's arm went numb from the shock. The iron pillar's strength was astonishing. It knocked the axe in the corpse puppet's hand away. And with a single blow, he smashed its head apart. Taiju approached the fallen corpse puppet. Some doubts. This world is truly absurd. Even zombies can use weapons. Could this be some new evolution-type zombie? But he didn't dwell on it too much. Then he called his companions to hurry and move the supplies. Worried about attracting evolved zombies. Seeing that Taiju could kill zombies with a single blow, the other companions were scavenging supplies at the same time, while flattering him. Luckily, Brother Taiju was here. Otherwise, we wouldn't have found so much food. Yeah, evolving zombies is nothing. With Brother Tieju's divine power, that's a straightforward matter. After all, to have a powerful backing in the apocalypse. Everyone had no choice but to grin and smile. The man known as the Iron Pillar. After hearing compliments from peers, he was also very proud. I'm more than a month after the apocalypse. You can even encounter human survivors and be amazed. Especially the one fighting the corpse puppet, the powerful Iron Pillar. It is estimated that he may be an evolved human. After all, ordinary humans rarely possess such formidable power. Given human wisdom and complex thinking, I'm worried that human survivors might target me because of supplies, endangering both himself and Xiao Qiqi. They decided not to send corpse puppets to that area anymore. After the episode of encountering a human survivor, in the blink of an eye, several more days passed. I have now stopped collecting supplies. Throughout every room of Building 5, all the scriptures were piled high with all kinds of supplies. Meanwhile, Yin Ruoxua had been continuously using her psychic power during this period. On the bed in the bedroom, crawling training is underway. As their ability to control their bodies improves, Yin Ruoxua crawled faster and faster on the bed. Finally, relying on telekinesis, with the blessing of the Emperor, he learned to walk. At this moment, I pushed the door open and walked in. Seeing this scene on the bed, his jaw dropped in shock. The little guy is only a few months old. How did he end up walking upright? I was shocked at first. What followed was a wave of surprises. Although he had long wanted Yin Ruoxua to adapt to life in the apocalypse. But unexpectedly, she learned to walk at such a young age. I carried Yin Ruoxua to the living room. She believed flat ground was more convenient for her practice. Yin Ruoxua quickly adapted using her telekinesis. However, due to limited physical strength, expends mental energy to balance the body. After practicing for a moment, he stopped. I thought she was tired. He carried him to the sofa to rest. Afterwards, I held a steel machete, practicing knife techniques on the balcony. After devouring the galaxy, his body underwent a full evolution. At this moment, he swung the steel machete as it sliced through the air. A sound of air breaking through the air rang out. My current practice, and only through some of his past lives. Memories of martial arts, imitating simple routines while swinging a machete. But I always feel that as long as I become stronger, even if it's just moving a brick, it can also break others' defenses. Yin Ruoxua was shocked and confessed when she saw it. I'm actually improving my strength. She thought I was just an ordinary zombie. But because it possesses human consciousness, able to use weapons, hold an advantage among ordinary low-level zombies. She thought I was just an ordinary zombie. But because it possesses human consciousness, able to use weapons, hold an advantage among ordinary low-level zombies. However, in her previous life, as the Empress of the human race, Yun Ruoxue has rich experience in combat and martial arts cultivation. She thought the knife technique I practiced was just too trash. Whenever he encountered an opponent with stronger combat power, she could almost instantly kill her zombie dad. And I saw Yun Ruoxue staring at me. He mistakenly thought she was attracted by his knife skills. He felt quite pleased inside. For a moment, he swung even more vigorously. The next few days, I let Xiao Qiqi move freely in the living room on the 6th floor. 6th floor, because I train frequently. It is wider and brighter. Much better than the 7th floor bedroom with windows sealed by wooden boards. I practiced swordsmanship and fighting on the balcony. Yun Ruoxue practiced walking upright in the living room. At the same time, he secretly trained his telekinesis to control them. With my company, the little one walked steadily every day. He was practically a prodigy. But Yun Ruoxue's sense of crisis grew stronger and stronger. After the blood moon mutation, zombies and ferocious beasts are evolving wildly. Ordinary zombies like me. Sooner or later, there will be no room to survive. She had to grow up quickly. At the very least, they couldn't hold back in this apocalypse. Just as we were each improving, suddenly, an angry roar came from outside the building. My heart moved. Immediately switch to the zombie puppet's perspective. On the community's greenbelt, 2 zombies mutated after the blood moon were fiercely battling. One was a tank-type zombie nearly 2.5 meters tall. With both fists, he wields a tiger with the wind. Every punch could punch a deep pit in the ground. The other was the licker I had seen before, with 4 feet prostrating themselves on the ground. Extremely swift in action. The other claw was like a curved blade. Every punch could punch a deep pit in the ground. The other was the licker I had seen before, with 4 feet prostrating themselves on the ground. Extremely swift in action. The other claw was like a curved blade. The 2 powerful evolved zombies were locked in a fierce battle. My heart warmed. This is a great opportunity. 2 evolved zombies appeared simultaneously, and they were wearing each other down. As long as they were left wounded, he could reap the benefits from the situation. I went straight out of the room, go downstairs to assemble the corpse puppet squad. Yun Ruoxue was speechless when she heard the commotion outside. He doesn't know I have the ability to control corpse puppets. I thought I was going to fight the evolved zombies head on. But right now, she couldn't even move freely. He could only pray quietly inside the house. And as I was going downstairs, he then began gathering all the corpse puppets, 10 fully armed guys, quietly approaching the green belt. After a long and producible battle, 2 zombies finally suffered a mutual defeat. The blood-red monster tore off one of the tank zombies' arms. In the end, the tank zombie collapsed and died. The blood-colored monster won a crushing victory. Just as he was about to take the crystal core, my corpse puppet squad suddenly surrounded him. The blood-colored monster roared in fury. He wanted to drive out the corpse puppet, but the corpse puppet I control is unaffected by the pressure. The stone corpse puppet wielded a fire axe and hacked mindlessly. The open space cost him the advantage of climbing on rooftops and walls. Before hesitating, he was surrounded in the middle. He obtained both evolved zombie crystal cores. I was overjoyed. He controlled the corpse puppet to quickly return to the residential complex. These 2 crystal cores, most of them turned red. Clearly, they had already devoured quite a few of their kind. Returned to the 3rd floor. I couldn't wait to swallow both crystal cores together. This time, the energy far surpasses before. But the most crucial change is the mind. A terrifying spiritual power surged into his mind. It directly exceeded the limits I could bear. He didn't last long before fainting. Yun Ruoxue on the 7th floor was so anxious she rolled on the sofa. There has been no movement for such a long time. She had completely lost hope. I thought I had died at the hands of evolved zombies. Poor zombie dad. Why can't you wait a little longer for me? Just as I was feeling sad, the door lock rang. Yun Ruoxue suddenly looked up. A smile instantly appeared on his face. She jumped off the sofa. It was running over to me, crookedly and unsteadily. Father. I felt as if I'd been struck by lightning. Frozen in place. Xiao Qiqi can call her daddy now. I lived 2 lifetimes. I haven't even talked about my girlfriend. The strange feeling of suddenly being called a father. It made me so excited I was overwhelmed. Yun Ruoxue herself was stunned. Too excited. Unable to control the composure in his heart, he blurted it out immediately. But she quickly let it go. After all, he had a soul from his previous life. Saying suitable is not the problem. It's just that after being reborn, he never practiced speaking up. And I didn't think that far at all. He just felt that Xiao Qiqi was a peerless prodigy. There is no teacher to communicate. He could even speak. I let out 2 excited growls to express my joy. Unfortunately, he couldn't speak. After this evolution was completed, the number of corpse puppets I can control has increased to 30. The telemental radiation range reached an astonishing 8 kilometers. With this kind of strength, I immediately set about expanding the troops. But after Yin Ruoxue had eaten her fill, I no longer want to drink formula. She opened her mouth, revealing 2 rows of small baby teeth. Tell me she doesn't want to drink milk. I felt a bit embarrassed for a moment. She opened her mouth, revealing 2 rows of small baby teeth. Tell me she doesn't want to drink milk. I felt a bit embarrassed for a moment. None of them understood these things as well as Xiao Qiqi. So he went to the 6th floor, lit a fire, and cooked rice porridge. Add milk powder and crush. Make it into a rice paste. The little one took the spoon and started eating by himself. He even thought I was clumsy. Dad, I'd better do it myself. Watching the little one eat happily and happily, I feel a sense of emotion in my heart. Xiao Qiqi has finally grown up. After his strength increased, a bold idea popped into my mind. Can you control evolved zombies? Soon the opportunity arose. A corpse puppet. It was just a few kilometers away. Discovered a lone tank type, evolved zombie. I disguised myself as an ordinary zombie with the corpse puppet slowly approaching. Released telekinesis within 100 meters. Evolved the zombie's mental defenses. Definitely stronger than ordinary zombies. Obvious resistance has emerged, but my evolved psychic power is even stronger. It quickly broke through its defenses. Successfully turned it into my corpse puppet. I named it Depang. This guy is extremely muscular. His arms were like a prison cage. I started at a hardware store. He found 2 large iron hammers weighing over 100 G. Equip it. When he swings it, he is full of vigor. Just one stop at the entrance of the residential complex. He was practically a gatekeeper, with Depang holding the fort. The sense of security is directly full. Then I caught another one. Agile evolved zombies. Named Lightning. Extremely fast. Skilled in dual blades. It perfectly compensates for Depang's lack of speed. 1 attack, 1 defense. Plus more than 20 ordinary corpse puppets. I feel like I can walk around with confidence even in the apocalypse. Meanwhile, while Depang was searching for supplies, they encountered a mutated giant dog. Its body length is nearly 2 meters. His fur was black and stiff. While Depang was searching for supplies, they encountered a mutated giant dog. Its body length is nearly 2 meters. His fur was black and stiff. Its body is as robust as a wild boar. And this is me in the apocalypse. First time seeing mutated creatures. I controlled Big Fatty to fight back. The big fat man smashed the giant dog's front paw with a single blow. He then finished off with a blow, smashing his head to pieces. He took a white crystal core from the giant dog's brain. Sure enough, mutated beasts have crystal cores too. I carried the giant dog's corpse back to the residential complex. He ate part of the flesh and blood himself to restore his hunger. The rest was left to Depang. Fresh flesh and blood left the wounds on Big Fatty's body. Recovery is visible to the naked eye. Devoured the mutated dog. After meeting the crystal core of a newly encountered tank-type zombie, my mental strength rose again. But Yin Ruoxue was unaware of these things. While I was out, Yin Ruoxue secretly went downstairs to investigate. It turned out that the entire building stretched from the 3rd to the 6th floor. It was all piled high with all kinds of supplies. Milk powder piles up like mountains. The bottled water piled up to the ceiling. There's also a large amount of baby supplies and food. Oh my god, how much stuff has Zombie Dad stockpiled? Aftershock. Be more confident in your judgment. With just an ordinary zombie, there was no way they could transport so much supplies. She guessed it was an underground burrowing ability, quickly transporting them underground through teleportation. When she arrived at the 1st floor balcony, when he saw Big Fatty standing guard at the door with his twin hammers, he became even more certain. Dad must rely on his burrowing ability to get in and out. In fact, Big Fatty is the corpse puppet I control. But Yin Ruoxue did not know. She silently decided. Once his strength is enough, let's take down this big guy first, clearing obstacles for Dad. She even found the property contract. He learned that he was located in Jianghai City. He hurriedly searched for memories from his previous life. There are 2 famous powerhouses in Jianghai City. One is the female police officer with 9 resurrections, the 9 Deaths Demon Police. The other is the mutated white bear that controls the power of thunder. Thunder roared. If only it could be done before the 9 Deaths Demon Police matured and subdued him, the future will be a tremendous boost. Soon after, a military helicopter flew over the city. Leaflets were scattered. The Jianghai military has established a survivor base outside the city. I read it and casually discarded it. He was a zombie, a human base. It has nothing to do with me. Yin Ruoxue sneered, crumbled the flyer into a ball. She had stayed at the survivor base in her previous life. It is filled with darkness and injustice. Hanging out with those scheming humans. Might as well stay by the zombie dad side. While I was continuously strengthening my strength, Su Muching, a female officer at the nearby police station. He brought a few colleagues to Sunshine Community to look for a truck. She wanted to drive a truck and escape the city with survivors. But at the entrance of the residential complex, she met Depang. Su Muching picked up a stone and threw it at Big Fat, trying to distract it. Saw no response. He then pulled out a pistol and fired a shot. The moment I saw her pull out a gun at Depang, it instantly became popular. No matter what your purpose is. But shooting at my corpse puppet is a dead end. I controlled Big Fatty to hold the hammer and block bullets. He then swung his arm and smashed the giant hammer at Su Muching. She hadn't expected the zombies to attack with flying hammers. Unable to dodge in time. Struck by a single hammer. He died on the spot. Those officers who entered Community 8 were all destroyed by my corpse puppet. I confiscated several police guns and bullets from them. Those officers who entered Community 8 were all destroyed by my corpse puppet. I confiscated several police guns and bullets from them. However, late at night, the matter of pursuing the unusual happened. Su Muching's corpse. He actually revived in the blood-red light. He was smashed so hard his bones and tendons broke. His body was as good as ever. In fact, their strength has doubled. I saw this scene through Depang's perspective. The whole person is blinded. Damn, this policewoman actually came back to life. Su Muching herself looked calm and composed. Examined the body. He found that his entire body was completely without a single wound. Both strength and speed have greatly increased. She realized she might be an evolver. Has the ability to revive after death. The next day, Su Muching came again with her people. And this time, he brought even more fully armed police officers. I was burning with rage. He had spared this woman's life last time. Unexpectedly, she recklessly came to pick on him again. This time, I controlled 3 evolved zombies to besiege me. But after Su Muching's resurrection, her strength surged. He was able to handle the siege of 3 zombies with ease. I had the gunman open fire. She was able to dodge most of the bullets. In the end, I still found an opportunity. Kill her again. This time, I smashed her to pieces. Make sure nothing goes wrong. But that very night, she has come back to life, and their strength doubled again. No way. Is this woman really on top? I was completely speechless. If you die, you can come back to life. It can also become stronger. What troubled me even more was, there is a hidden evolver, secretly assisting Su Muching. Whenever my attack is about to hit her, they would be stopped for a second by a mysterious force. It can even make bullets curve in midair. And this evolver hiding in the shadows. Actually, it was Yun Ruoxue. She had previously observed. He discovered that there seemed to be a zombie king lurking in the neighborhood. Control all zombies. He used secret techniques of secret sound transmission. Joined forces with Su Muching. Disguises himself as a mysterious expert known as the Invisible One. They planned to kill the zombie king together. Su Muching thought she had met a like-minded companion. He gladly agreed to cooperate. On the night of the operation, Su Muching led Depang's way away at the door. Chunggong Chongba Community. But I personally stopped him in front of Building 5. I wanted to protect the 7th floor's Xiao Chi-Chi. Shrink all corpse puppets around Building 5. Holding a machete, I flew into a rage and attacked. Every move was ruthless to the extreme. She had none of her usual gentleness. Yun Ruoxue observed secretly on the 2nd floor of Building 1. Used the ability to control time and again to stop my deadly attacks. But only to protect Su Muching from getting hurt. I absolutely won't let Su Muching hurt me. Su Muching was completely confused. Which side is this invisible person really on? I attacked this zombie, but was stopped. Yun Ruoxue only sent one message. You can't touch this zombie. The fighting grew increasingly fierce. Su Muching desperately tried to rush into Building 5, but I blocked it with all my might. I let out a series of piercing roars. The anger of those desperately protecting their loved ones. This caused the temperature throughout the community to drop. At this moment, Yun Ruoxue finally uncovered the truth. As Su Muching rushed toward Building 5, all the zombies in the community are frantically rushing toward Building 5. What they protect is not some zombie king, but she was on the 7th floor, and those who gave orders to all zombies to defend desperately. It was her zombie father. Could it be said, Dad is the zombie king. All the clues connected at that moment. Her zombie dad. It was her zombie father. Could it be said, Dad is the zombie king. All the clues connected at that moment. Her zombie dad. It was the zombie king she had always wanted to hunt. I really am foolish. Yun Ruoxue almost tried to dig up her father's crystal core to feed his own father. After coming to terms with it, she immediately stopped assisting Su Muching. Without covert support, Su Muching was instantly at a disadvantage. I control 3 evolved zombies. Plus, with his own body attacking, he treated her like a punching bag and stomped on her hard. Invisible One, you're really a ripoff. Su Muqing's last thought before being knocked unconscious. After I knocked her out, then he wrote a note and threw it to her. Live well. If you die, everyone at the police station will die with you. Su Muqing, overflowing with a saintly heart and a bit of a saint, indeed gave in. She couldn't do anything that would cost others their lives because of her. The days that followed gradually quieted down. I spar with lightning every day. Improve combat skills. He even specially found a learning device and literacy cards for Xiao Qiqi. The little one is growing up at lightning speed. He can already read, write, and do arithmetic. I only feel that my daughter has the bearing of a great emperor. Yin Ruoxue pretended to follow the learning device, babbling and learning to speak. He felt utterly helpless inside. In her previous life, she had been admitted to a prestigious university for graduate studies. Now, however, he had to relearn infant early education. At the same time, she took advantage of my outings every day. He secretly went downstairs to chat with Su Muqing. The two women, one older and one younger, get along well. Su Muqing was fond of this innocent and adorable little girl. Defenseless, he shared all his information. Meanwhile, Yin Ruoxue was secretly plotting how to win back this 9-death demon policeman. After all, the other party was someone with the potential to break through to the Emperor realm in the future. If they can win them over, it will be a huge boost. I noticed that Xiao Qiqi likes to chat with Su Muqing. He didn't object. After all, having a human to communicate normally with the little guy is possible. It's a good thing. He just always locked Su Muqing's iron chains tightly. I noticed that Xiao Qiqi likes to chat with Su Muqing. He didn't object. After all, having a human to communicate normally with the little guy is possible. It's a good thing. He just always locked Su Muqing's iron chains tightly and arranged for Lightning Number 1 to keep a close watch. Suddenly one day, the corpse puppet brings back new news. On a distant street, an unprecedented second-tier tyrant zombie appeared. The zombie's arms had completely turned into claws. His strength and speed were terrifying to the extreme. A human evolver fled in panic as he chased Wolf Gaze. It was the strong man who had fought my corpse puppet before. Iron Pillar. The wounds on the tyrant zombie's body could actually heal on their own. Taiju slashed several times, but it was all in vain. Eventually, the iron pillar drilled into a narrow alley. Only then did he barely escape with his life. My heart moved. This tyrant is too strong. Head-to-head is not an opponent, but I have a better way. I used lightning to lure the tyrant near the police station. Su Muqing happened to be out searching for supplies and had just returned. Seeing this tyrant, without hesitation, it caught its attention. Protect the police station. Cranes and clams compete fiercely. The fishermen benefited. After a fierce battle with the tyrant, Su Muqing, finding out they can't win. So I led it to a gas station. One shot blew up the oil tank. The gas station instantly engulfed in fierce flames. The tyrant struggled out of the sea of fire. His whole body was charred black. But surprisingly, he still wasn't dead. However, the injuries were already extremely serious. I immediately controlled Airpang and Lightning to rush forward. The severely wounded tyrant. It can't be stopped at all. Airpang's steel rod weighing over a ton was frantically snatched and smashed. He was soon beaten so badly he couldn't stand. Lightning seized the opportunity and kept slicing with a steel knife, ultimately killed the tyrant. After extracting the second-tier crystal core, I was overjoyed, but this time I didn't rush to devour it. First, prepare a meal for Xiao Qiqi. Arrange defenses well. Only then did they arrive at Building 4. Swallow the crystal core. The pound of energy directly helped me break through to the 3rd tier. First, prepare a meal for Xiao Qiqi. Arrange defenses well. Only then did they arrive at Building 4. Swallow the crystal core. The pound of energy directly helped me break through to the 3rd tier. His physical fitness underwent a qualitative leap. His spiritual power surged several times over. The handling range expanded from 10,000 meters to several tens of kilometers. There are hundreds of ordinary corpse puppets you can control. Second-tier evolved zombies can also be easily controlled. I can even outpace agile zombie Lightning in terms of speed. Frontal repelled, the tank-type, zombie, big fatty. I am now. It feels like living in the apocalypse is what it should be. Shortly after breaking through to the 3rd tier, I caught another one. A tier 2 tank zombie as massive as a car. He named him Selferpang. He was equipped with a metal rod weighing over a ton. Airpang smashed down with his staff. It can smash cars into scrap metal. Throw it out. It can even penetrate concrete walls, with Airpang guarding the community gate. Even evolved zombies didn't dare approach. Meantime, Yin Ruoxue was also secretly breaking through to the 3rd tier. After breaking through, her psychic power was greatly enhanced. He can control iron nails to fly at extremely high speed. Combined with his time control skills, he can silently take lives. Looking across the entire apocalypse, she was already one of the top powerhouses among humans. At some unknown time, at my feet, I now have a blood fiend blade technique. I thought it was a secret manual left by some mysterious master. So he began to learn. As everyone knows, actually, Yin Ruoxua secretly wrote it in her homework notebook and threw it to me. This blade technique, use blood as a guide, condensing the murderous aura. After mastery, no sharp weapons are needed. His own blood fiend energy is the strongest blade in the world. After cultivating, I improved rapidly. His combat power had improved qualitatively. However, the calm was soon shattered. A 5-person Evolver squad arrived in Shanghai City from the survivor base to collect supplies. They found all supplies near Sunshine Community have been completely emptied. Arrive in Shanghai City from the survivor base to collect supplies. They found all supplies near Sunshine Community have been completely emptied. The corpse puppet, tracking the transport of supplies, finds the residential complex. At night, he climbed over the wall and sneaked in. But they don't know the moment they hit the wall. I had already discovered it. My corpse puppet army quickly surrounded me. Evolved Zombie Lightning number 2. He instantly killed an Evolver. Big Fat's double hammers. It even knocked 2 melee Evolvers backward. Amidst the chaotic battle, I took action myself. A horizontal slash after cultivating the blood fiend blade technique. He directly took down the last escaped Evolver, cut in half at the waist. They found documents from the survivor base on them. I realized human forces are developing faster than expected. Sunshine neighborhood will be exposed sooner or later. I decided to move. The target was Qingshui Farm on the outskirts of the city. Open. There is arable land. Stay away from human forces. There are plenty of zombies nearby to replenish your forces. And most importantly, it can give Xiao Qiqi a better environment to grow up in. Xiao Qiqi couldn't stay forever in a closed reinforced concrete building. She needs sunlight, fresh air, and fresh vegetables. Speaking of vegetables, my heart just melts down. The little guy has been here for so long. The diet is too monotonous. Daily milk powder, egg fried rice, and rice porridge. Not even a single vegetable leaf remained. Arriving at the farm, you can control the corpse puppet to cultivate farmland and plant crops. Let Xiao Qiqi enjoy fresh fruits and vegetables. Before leaving, there was one more thing to handle. It was Su Mooching. Her ability to revive is too tricky. Cannot be killed, cannot be let go. But since he was leaving here, maybe she should just let her go. From then on, they never met again. I told Xiao Qiqi about my decision. She obediently nodded and asked, "Sister, would you be willing to come with us?" I know it in my heart. Given Su Mooching's personality, she couldn't let go of the survivors at the police station. There's no way I'll just follow along. Yin Ruoxua took advantage of my distraction. He secretly slipped a note into Su Mooching's hand. Qingshui Farm. Before leaving, Su Mooching asked Yin Ruoxua, "Do you remember our agreement?" Ruoxua said with a smile, "If one day you find this world, it's not as wonderful as you might imagine. When you no longer want to protect others, remember, come protect me." Su Mooching limped back to the police station. She discovered a scene that would break her down. Those survivors she desperately protected. He had already fallen into a man-eating demon. They killed all the officers who refused to go along with the scandal. He even killed Su Mooching herself. Su Mooching was resurrected for the 3rd time. The strength skyrocketed again. She personally executed all the cannibals. None of them are left. The last young man knelt on the ground, begging for mercy. "Officer Su, you're a good person. I just want to live." Not intentionally. Su Mooching turned to leave. But from behind, the sound of a pistol being loaded echoed. She lunged at her like lightning. One punch broke his ribs. Why? Why lie to me? Looking at the ground full of corpses, Su Mooching felt utterly hopeless. She recalled what Yin Ruoxua had said. If those people, you're not worth protecting at all. Oh yes, such despicable beasts. Is it really worth protecting yourself? Looking at the note in his hand that said Qingshui Farm, Su Mooching took one last look. This police station was once a place where he had planned to devote his life. She turned and disappeared into the night. "Little Qiqi, I'm coming to you." On the day of departure, 5 heavy trucks, driving out in grand procession from the Sunshine Community. All the drivers in the driver's seat were zombie drivers. Behind them followed a massive army of over 100 fully armed corpse puppets. 5 heavy trucks, driving out in grand procession from the Sunshine Community. All the drivers in the driver's seat were zombie drivers. Behind them followed a massive army of over 100 fully armed corpse puppets. Zombies driving trucks. Survivors along the way were so shocked their jaws turned white. an evolver searching for supplies in a shop. He saw 5 heavy trucks roaring past. The driver's seat was filled with zombie faces struggling to heal. Am I hallucinating? Zombies can even drive trucks. Along the way, evolving zombies kept coming, drawn by the convoy's movement. I accept all who come with telekinesis and control them all. The corpse puppet army not only suffered no losses. Instead, it keeps growing stronger. Passing near Jianghai City Zoo. A second-tier, mutated giant python, entirely golden, clustered along the streets. Blocked the entire road. Its body length is over 20 meters. The scales shimmer with a golden sheen. The corpse puppets, scouting from both ends, were swallowed whole. I controlled Airpang to carry the steel rod and hold the front line. A stick struck the python's head, stunning its opponent. Big Fat and other tank zombies blocked the flanks. Stopped the giant python from slithering. Agile zombies swarmed in. Using steel knives, he kept cutting through the python's body. Critical moment. The tyrant zombie jumps down from tall building. Its sharp claws are inserted straight into 7CUN, tearing open a huge wound. Airpang immediately smashed the python's head with a stick. After extracting the second-tier crystal core, I decided to leave it for Airpang to devour. Crystal cores below Tier 3 are no longer useful to me, but it can make the corpse puppet even stronger. In warfare, quality is valued over quantity. I want to build one. An elite force composed purely of advanced evolved zombies. Yun Ruashua looked at the massive corpse of the giant python. His eyes shone so brightly that stars seemed to sparkle. Father, I want to eat snake meat. The little one eats milk powder and fried rice every day and almost throws up. Seeing such a huge snake, he could barely move. I want to eat snake meat. The little one eats milk powder and fried rice every day and almost throws up. Seeing such a huge snake, he could barely move. But I'm not sure if humans can eat mutant beast meat, so I had to write it down for now. Later, I'll find a human survivor to be a little mouse for verification. Once Dad confirms it's safe, I'll make it for you. Yun Ruashua looked a bit disappointed, but I also understand my father's caution. She knew it in her heart. Mutant beast meat is not only edible, it is also a great tonic. But there was no way to explain it. The convoy moved on. The tall buildings on both sides gradually disappeared. In its place is a barren, yet open countryside. I looked at the map. In just over 10 minutes, you'll be at Qingshui Farm. The evening sun dyes the sky a blood-red hue. I gazed out the window at the scenery that kept retreating. He glanced again at the window beside him, quietly watching Xiao Qiqi outside. The little one's eyes reflected the afterglow of the sunset. This was after her rebirth. It was my first time leaving Sunshine Community to see the outside world. I reached out and gently pinched her little cheek. Xiao Qiqi looked up and gave me a sweet smile. Dad, the world outside is really vast. Oh yes, the outside world is huge. It is also dangerous. But no matter what the world becomes, as long as Xiao Qiqi is by her side, everything has meaning. On the distant horizon, a vast outline of the farm, faintly visible in the sunset. That's our new home, Qingshui Farm. And behind us, dozens of kilometers away, in the ruins of Jianghai City, a figure radiating a terrifying aura. He was speeding along the tracks of the tracks. The gentleness and kindness in Su Muqing's eyes had vanished. In its place is coldness and resoluteness. But when she remembered the one holding the bottle, when the little girl smiled at him, the corners of his mouth still unconsciously lifted slightly. After arriving at Qingshui Farm, I followed the map's guidance. But when she remembered the one holding the bottle, when the little girl smiled at him, the corners of his mouth still unconsciously lifted slightly. After arriving at Qingshui Farm, I followed the map's guidance. We drove along the forest path for a while. Zhonggan saw the sign at the farm's gate. On both sides of the steel gate, it is a wall made of wooden stakes and barbed wire. High-voltage signs hang on the walls. There are also signs of forcibly damaging the barbed wire. I sat in the truck. He looked around the farm with satisfaction. Qingshui Farm is quiet all around. It's not easy to attract attention. The area is much larger than that of Sunshine Community, enough to accommodate me and Qiqi, and a massive corpse puppet army. The most important thing is, it's less oppressive here. It's perfect for little ones to grow up. Father, are we here? Yun Ruashua stretched lazily. I nodded. First, send out a team of corpse puppets. Investigate the farm through the pried-open fence. The corpse had just entered. I furrowed my brows tightly. The farm was covered in dried, dark brown bloodstains. I focused on finding vegetable gardens, but they found that all the farm's vegetable plots had been destroyed. There were huge footprints on the ground. It seems there are mutated animals on the farm. At this moment, sounds of fighting and animal screams came from inside the farm. I controlled the corpse puppet, following the sound deeper. In areas where poultry is raised, a mutated giant bull was discovered. The most outrageous thing is this yellow ox. It actually grew sharp fangs, even more exaggerated than lion-tiger teeth. It was gnawing on the carcass of an unknown animal. After the end of the world, the cows have switched to eating meat. After the giant bull discovered the corpse puppet, without saying a word, he rushed over. This guy has already reached the second tier. Ordinary corpse puppets are no match at all. I controlled Air Pang and Tyrant number 1 to fight back. Air Pang smashed his staff onto the giant bull's head. He knocked on it until stars appeared before his eyes. Tyrant number 1 seized the opportunity, tearing open a massive wound with its claws. But the cow's skin evolved to be extremely tough. He knocked on it until stars appeared before his eyes. Tyrant number 1 seized the opportunity, tearing open a massive wound with its claws. But the cow's skin evolved to be extremely tough. Fortunately, it doesn't dodge. After several rounds, he finally collapsed. The tyrant's claws pierced his skull. He took out a rapidly changing orange-yellow second-tier crystal core. After dealing with the giant bull, continue searching. Located by the fish pond to the west, I found a wide creeping trail on the shore. When controlling the corpse puppet to approach the water's surface, a giant turtle suddenly darted out of the water. He bit through the corpse puppet's ankle in one bite. What a huge turtle. The shell was extremely hard. The corpse puppet threw a punch at him. Recoil force. He directly broke his wrist. I have no intention of killing it for now. He stationed 2 corpse figurines to guard the shore. Just prevent it from coming ashore. A 1,000-year-old king, and 10,000-year-old turtle. Once it was confirmed that mutant animal meat was edible, leave it for Chi-Chi to nourish the body. He turned the farm inside and out twice. After confirming safety, I started a large-scale cleaning. After the residential area is completely renewed, I finally took Chi-Chi's hand and entered the farm. Is this the home my dad and I will have from now on? It really does look pretty good. Yun Ruoxue curiously looked around. The eyes are full of anticipation. 8th, after the stay, my top priority is safety. Air Pang guarded the southern gate with a large staff. Lightning number 1, number 2, number 3. Each led a squad of corpses to guard the remaining 3 sides. Big Fat and Tyrant number 1 protected Chi-Chi at close range. I transformed the entire farm into an impenetrable iron cage. Looking at the sleeping Chi-Chi, a sense of accomplishment welled up in my heart. Xiao Chi-Chi, rest assured and sleep. After Qingshui Farm, it's our new home. The next morning, when Chi-Chi woke up, I had already prepared breakfast. There was also a plate of fresh fruit on the table. There is still plenty of fruit hanging in the orchard north of the farm. Chi-Chi's eyes lit up. The aroma of fruit made me feel a bit intoxicated. After eating, she went outside, saw a pair of fully armed zombies, patrolled the farm in an orderly manner. That is really something. The methods used to control these zombies, far superior to ordinary zombie kings. She clung to my leg, acting cute and wanted to go for a walk. I was defeated. She led him to the vegetable patch. Chi-Chi saw the zombies I control farming. Everyone was shocked. I came from a rural background in my previous life. He had farmed with his grandparents. He has considerable experience in farming, confident in reclaiming the damaged vegetable fields. Meanwhile, I will take the 2 second-tier mutant beast crystal cores I obtained earlier. Feed it to Air Pang. Air Pang successfully advanced to the 3rd stage. Its size skyrocketed like a balloon, rivaling a truck. Dark scales began to grow on its body. Blades and spears could block bullets from the 8 companies. I test with a machete. Only faint scratch marks remain on the scales. Now Air Pang has become the main battle tank in the zombie world, with this 3rd-tier general guarding the gate. My confidence soared. At the same time, I found a new path to strengthening. Since high-level zombies are so rare, then I'll feed the corpse puppet myself with crystal cores. Chi-Chi hasn't been idle lately. He secretly ran to the fish pond to feed the mutated old turtle, feeding mutated python meat for 3 consecutive days. Hidden within the flesh is itself. On the 3rd day, she used the secret realm of her previous life, obtained ancient beast taming technique. A contract was made with this giant turtle. From then on, he could give the old turtle simple commands, even telepathic communication. He also taught the old turtle the breathing technique. He plans to cultivate him in the future, a powerful existence like the black tortoise giant turtle from his previous life. He also taught the old turtle the breathing technique. He plans to cultivate him in the future, a powerful existence like the black tortoise giant turtle from his previous life. And I have no idea about any of that. She just thought Chi-Chi liked this old turtle as a pet. Let her go. Next, I built a small amusement park for Chi-Chi, moving facilities like the carousel back from the city playground. Because there was no electricity, directly changed to a loss of manpower for propulsion. Chi-Chi saw this. Although deep down he wasn't very interested in these children's toys, But he knew this was his father's heartfelt wish, so she went along and put on a happy face. But unexpectedly, in her previous life, she was an orphan. There has never been such a carefree and painful year. Now my childlike heart has returned. It's a lot of fun. We sat on the carousel, chasing each other. If you ignore those human-powered corpse puppets, this must be a very warm scene. But when Lightning One was transporting amusement rides back and forth, an evolver named Lee Mo, who had awakened the ability to become invisible, he had been secretly observing all along. He followed the truck of Lightning Number 1. We arrived at Shui Farm. Seeing the scenery inside the farm, the worldview of the earthquake collapsed. In the end, he discovered a little human girl, actually living among the zombies. He guessed that Chi-Chi was controlling these zombies. Ta Nian Dunqi. He wanted to use her to seize this zombie army. When Lee Mo went invisible, he secretly hid in the bedroom of 877. Just as the dagger was about to fall, the whole person froze in place. Yun Roashue used time stop. Then he jumped up with a big jump. The nose slap slapped him away. Next, he used the soul artifact technique obtained from the secret realm in his previous life. He engraved blood red runes in his mind. He completely controlled his life and death. Do you want to die or live? Lee Mo chose to submit without hesitation. He engraved blood red runes in his mind. He completely controlled his life and death. Do you want to die or live? Lee Mo chose to submit without hesitation. Clouds like snow. He was ordered to infiltrate the survivor base in Bajiang Haishur as a spy. Regularly return to report intelligence. I know nothing about this. All I see is Chi-Chi happily playing on the farm every day. A few days later, I'm harvesting evolved zombies in the city, while accumulating crystal cores. Unexpectedly, he ran into Su mooching again on a nearby street. Damn it. Why did this woman come here too? After experiencing that incident at the police station, Su mooching, he chased all the way to find Chi-Chi. She watched her like a wolf all the way. The burrowing zombie that held a grudge against him. Harassment almost to the point of nervous exhaustion. I knocked her unconscious. Chains were tied next to the slides in the amusement park. But this time, Su mooching's personality seemed to undergo a dramatic transformation. After experiencing betrayal by a survivor at the police station, he became utterly disillusioned with humanity. He only wanted to protect Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi then took the opportunity to win her over step by step, bringing her food and chatting. Since the apocalypse, Su mooching has enjoyed both food and drink. No need to live a comfortable life of constant anxiety. Even she herself had to admit it. Living together with the zombie king. Yet it is more comfortable than in human groups. Meanwhile, I kept strengthening my strength, scavenging evolved zombies in the Jiangnan urban area. Through essence and feeding, there were more than 30 second-tier demonic corpse puppets. One night, after hunting mutated beasts on Huanglong Mountain, obtained a third-tier crystal core, plus the gymnasium zombie breeding base. The fruits of continuous harvesting. Finally, Jizan had enough resources to break through to the fourth tier. For third tier, crystal cores were swallowed together. He broke through to the fourth tier on the spot. His mental power surged several times over. The handling range exceeds 50 kilometers. He broke through to the fourth tier on the spot. His mental power surged several times over. The handling range exceeds 50 kilometers. His physical body underwent a complete transformation. Besides the dark red pupils, I am almost no different from a living person. Next, I raised 4 at once. 4-tier corpse figurines. Meanwhile, Yin Roashua was also secretly breaking through to the 4th tier. Her telekinesis surged to the point of flying for long periods. It can also perform various elemental secret arts. She uses psychic magic to control the bees to monitor the farm and its surroundings. While I wasn't paying attention, perform blood refining on the bloodthirsty demon vine on the outskirts of the farm, and take control of the 8 divisions. Those bloodthirsty demon vines. It is a mutated plant I transplanted back from Huanglong Mountain. It can absorb all the flesh and blood of living creatures. But he was completely indifferent to zombies. I planted them outside the dry rice of the farm to form a defensive line. But after further blood refinement, this line of defense, it had become a killing array she could control at will. But the crisis is approaching. Jianghai Survivor Base. Because the map was flooded with zombies. The concept of the Zombie King was revealed for the first time. What Wang Zheng's squad had previously encountered in Jiangnan City. This drew the attention of the higher-ups. He sent out invisible figures like Li Mo, forming a reconnaissance team, to investigate. After Yun Ruoxue sensed Li Mo approaching, flew out of the farm overnight to meet him. He ordered him to return and report. No Zombie King was found, but he also killed the captain of the squad that didn't listen to Sure. He used the Horcrux to control the other 3. But Wang Zheng was exceptionally perceptive. After sensing something was wrong with the stealth squad, setting up a game to hypnotize and interrogate Horcruxes is prohibited from activating. For invisible individuals died instantly. There is indeed a problem. Wang Zheng was shocked. He became even more certain that the Zombie King was lurking in the Jiangnan urban area. After the news was reported, the base's highest command was furious. 3 elite teams will be sent to Jiangnan City. He became even more certain that the Zombie King was lurking in the Jiangnan urban area. After the news was reported, the base's highest command was furious. 3 elite teams will be sent to Jiangnan City. Carry out arrest missions. Yin Ruoxua sensed the deaths of Li Mo and the others. It was a soul tremor. He knew the matter had been exposed. The storm is coming. But she was not flustered. With his current strength, as long as humanity does not deploy large-scale armed forces, just the Evolver team, she was no match for her and her father. She devoted all her energy to cultivation. Once he breaks through to Tier 5, even when facing a siege by the human firearm army, she was confident in how she could. I had no idea about these undercurrents. Still hunting mutated beasts on Huanglong Mountain. Accumulate crystal cores for your roommate's army. 3 elite teams landed on the outskirts of Jiangnan City. Wang Zheng served as the chief commander. Li Feng and Zhang Hai, the 2 captains, worked together. Among the team was an Evolver codenamed Falcon. Can share vision with contracted mutated Blackhawk. The Falcon quickly made a discovery. Oh my god, this is a zombie driving. He saw it. An evolved zombie drives a truck. Walking through the city. Transport mutant beast blood and meat to the gym to feed the zombie horde. The king made decisive decisions at the critical moment. Nailing this truck down. Let's see where he goes. And I was completely unaware. After controlling the zombie puppet to feed the zombies in the gymnasium, we drove back to Qingshui Farm. Above the truck, the Black Eagle followed like a shadow. Black Hawk follows the truck. They flew all the way to the outskirts of Qingshui Farm. The Falcon uses its eagle eye to take in the entire farm. Got it. That zombie. He drove into a farm on the outskirts of the city. Falcon reported in a low voice. The farm's defenses were extremely tight. Outside the wall, there was also a large patch of blood-red vines. Standing, there was a giant zombie as large as a 2-story building. Outside the wall, there was also a large patch of blood-red vines. Standing, there was a giant zombie as large as a 2-story building. The faces of the 3 kings changed dramatically. The Zombie King's lair is located on that farm. Zhang Hai swallowed hard. That big guy at the door. At the very least, they should be tank-type zombies at least Tier 3. This defense. I also saw inside the farm. Multiple evolving zombies with abnormally large bodies patrolled. His aura was extremely powerful. At least 4 or 5 third-tier ones. But the Falcon did not see the whole picture. The Blackhawk's flight altitude is not low enough. Unable to fully investigate. What to do is to attack directly. Li Feng asked with a frown. Wang Zheng shook his head. No, the situation is unclear. Attacking rashly carries too high risk. First, send the intelligence back to the base. Let the higher-ups decide on the next steps. And that patch of blood-red vines makes me feel like it's just looking at it. Abnormal, like some kind of mutated plant. Maybe the Zombie King set up defenses. And what about the mysterious little girl? If the Zombie King's lair is right here on this farm, that little girl was probably inside too. But now, the greatest threat is not the little girl. It was the Zombie King himself. If you alert the other party, we all have to die here. After discussing, the 3 decided not to act for now. Farm location and defense status. Communication equipment was transmitted back to the Jianghai base. Waiting for instructions from the higher-ups. The news quickly reached the highest commander. The conference room once again fell into a heavy atmosphere. Wang Zheng's squad has already confirmed their positions. The farm's defenses were extremely tight. At least several Tier 3 or higher evolved zombies were stationed there. Outside the wall, there is also a defensive line made of unknown mutated plants. Third-tier zombies. At the highest level, only furrowed brows are tightly knitted. Our base currently has several third-tier evolvers. No more than 10. And they are spread across various positions. It's hard to pull them all out. The conference room fell silent. Everyone understood. Given the current strength of the base, attack one by force. Strongholds with multiple third-tier zombie defenses. The odds of winning are slight, and the odds are slight. You can't force it. The highest command made the final decision. First, strengthen surveillance. Figure out the Shangxi King's activity patterns and maximum strength. At the same time, report to the capital authorities. Request support. Additionally, we are accelerating the cultivation of our own advanced evolvers. Before reinforcements arrive from the imperial capital, you must not startle the snake. However, what they didn't know was, Pang was at the farm gate. Now he is already at the 4th tier. Plus my own body. Qingshui Farm actually has 6 tier 4 combat power. And they, still using 3rd tier standards to assess my strength. Inside Qingshui Farm, I had a day of hunting. Back home, he cooked a sumptuous dinner for Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi was very happy eating. Rice grain stuck to the corner of his mouth, and he smiled at me. Su Muqing obediently listened as well. Eating the meal Chi-Chi had brought. While eating, she secretly sized me up. Why has the Zombie King changed so drastically again? If you didn't look closely, you'd think it was a living person. Shocked, in his heart, a shocking guess popped into her mind. Could this Zombie King eventually evolve into a living person? At night, Chi-Chi suddenly came to see Su Muqing. If there are humans going after my dad, which side will you help? Su Muqing was silent for a long time. There was no answer. Which side will you help? Su Muqing was silent for a long time. There was no answer. Chi-Chi didn't mind. He said this as he turned to leave. Forget it, telling you won't help. Su Muqing sat weakly on the bed, looking at Chi-Chi's back. His heart churned. Humans and the Zombie King will eventually become opposing forces. But Su Muqing recalled her experiences at the police station. Then she remembered the farm. Every day, Chi-Chi brings her meals and chats. Although the Zombie King treats her like a pet, but he never truly hurt her. She suddenly felt ridiculous. Su Muqing lay back down on the bed, staring at the slide overhead. A sleepless night. And somewhere on a high ground dozens of kilometers away, Wang Zheng's Black Hawk is still air-listed above Qingshui Farm. The Falcon suddenly opened its eyes. Captain Wang came out of the farm and saw a truck come out, then headed toward Huanglong Mountain again. Wang Jing nodded. Keep staring. Record his daily routine. Departure time, route, return time. Write them all down. And find ways to clearly see the core areas inside the farm, especially where exactly is the true body of that Zombie King. The Black Eagle circles silently high in the sky. Taken everything about Qingshui Farm. Yin Roashue was sitting on the autumn stem, swinging back and forth. Her own colored skirt flutters in the wind. A bright smile spread across her rosy little face. Little Chi-Chi. It seems the matter is settled. Leaning against the slide, Su Muqing looked at Chi-Chi. Today I finally got it done. Yin Roashue nodded. Even if Zhanghai Base sent people to the farm now, it was nothing more than a death sentence. That little Chi-Chi. You'll probably come out every day from now on, right? Su Muqing looked a bit hopeful. She stayed alone at the amusement park. It is truly a matter of panic. Of course, Yin Roashue nodded seriously, since he was going to subdue this 9-death demon policeman. Naturally, you need to nurture your feelings. Su Muqing suddenly said seriously. I will help you and your father. Yin Roashue snapped out of it. This is Su Muqing. In response to the question I asked that day, this answer surprised her. After all, Su Muqing is loyal to the authorities. Protecting survivors is valued more than life itself. Why? Because I promised to protect you. Su Muqing said solemnly. She felt the Zombie King had human consciousness. Never has it slaughtered humans. With Xiao Chi-Chi caring for her, the Zombie King is not aggressive. But once humans affect Xiao Chi-Chi, no one knows if the Zombie King will go mad. Meanwhile, the Black Hawk followed the truck all the way out of Jiangnan City. They arrived above the farm in the suburbs. The Falcon uses its eagle eye to take in the entire farm. But what shocked him the most was, a little girl was swinging in the autumn dry. Beside him was a human woman, leaning against the slide, chatting with her. Captains, I found that mysterious little girl. There was also a human woman with her. After the news came back, the 3 captains exchanged expressions. Wang Lei said in a deep voice, Is it possible? This little girl is the Zombie King. Clouds like snow. Suddenly, he felt a wave of discomfort, as if he had been sighed by the whistle. Secretly, her psychic power spread out like a tide in all directions. He noticed a black eagle circling overhead. This is definitely not a wild mutant beast. It was the contracted pet beast of the Evolver. Yin Roashue quickly understood. This is definitely not a wild mutant beast. It was the contracted pet beast of the Evolver. Yin Roashue quickly understood. It must be Zhanghai Base City. Sent people again. She directly unleashed a telekinesis attack. The invisible swordsman stabbed the brain of the 8 Black Eagles. Black Eagle's figure flickered. The Falcon thought it was exhaustion. He hurriedly recalled him. Yin Roashue smiled knowingly. He immediately controlled the Sparrow to follow. The Sparrow followed him all the way. Finally, in a private school outside the city, found 3 Evolver teams. Yin Roashue passed through Sparrow. They heard their entire plan for a night raid. What made her most ridiculous was, these people treated him like the Zombie King. After Yin Roashue's consciousness returned, he ran straight up to me, pointing at the gate. I just saw the flying man. Trapeze. Could it be that a human evolver discovered the farm? After confirming with Xiao Qiqi, I concluded the farm had been exposed. Facing the suddenly appearing evolver, my mood was heavy. He immediately recalled the entire corpse puppet army. Four-headed, four-tiered corpse figurines. All were gathered near their homes. Protect Qiqi. Su Muqing also sensed something was wrong. What's going on with Xiao Qiqi? Except for human evolvers who come looking for trouble. What else could it be? Xiao Qiqi, can you tell your dad? Let him untie me. I can contribute too. Yin Ruoxue smiled and shook her head. I don't need you for now. My dad was more than capable of handling it. Night fell. I sat in the living room, eyes closed, deep in thought, monitoring the inside and outside of the farm from the perspective of the corpse puppet. In the woods, 2 dry meters from the farm, 3 evolver teams revealed themselves. Ahead is your own land. Everyone be careful. Wang Lei's expression was serious. A small bee on a branch was watching them. The one who sent the death is coming. A flash of disdain appeared in Yun Ruoxue's eyes. As the 3 squads approached the bloodthirsty vine wall, just as he was about to cut the vines, the bloodthirsty demon vine pierced through the bodies of the 3, frenziedly devouring flesh and blood essence. Not good. There's something wrong with this rattan wall. When Wang Lei and the others reacted, 5 people have already been swallowed by the vine wall. In the chaos, someone else was pierced through, and I also discovered the 8 invaders through the corpse puppet's perspective. All right, since you're courting death, then I will fulfill you. I controlled 4th-tier corpse puppets to gather in the residential area. Tyrant number 1 and Airpang were the first to charge into the spot. Airpang smashed down with his staff. The evolver who will charge at the front. Both the man and the rock shield were shattered together. Flame number 1 raised both hands. A dozen or so massive fireballs fell from the sky, bursting into the crowd. For slightly slower evolvers, completely engulfed by the firelight. The remaining 6 were thrown away. Charblack. Shield ground number 1 immediately activated the warrior wall. Seal off the survivors inside. Inside the wall, the path slowly advances along this route. Someone tried to climb over the high wall, but was hit by flame number 1 outside the wall. A fireball blasted the attack. Captain Lee escaped by climbing over the wall in the chaos. But Tyrant number 1 was being guarded outside. He punched Jean Shirley. Captain Lin and the others must have sacrificed themselves. I didn't find it. There's an evolver, relying on stand abilities. The cicada shed its shell and escaped. From Yun Ruoxue's perspective through the bloodthirsty vine, a corpse was found that had not been devoured. There are fish that slip through the net. Yun Ruoxue's brows furrowed into a deep wrinkle. The other party must have escaped using clone abilities. However, her abilities have not been revealed. The other party even mistakes her for the Zombie King. Maybe this will be the case in the next encounter. Give the other person a surprise. At night, Su Muqing lay in bed, tossing and turning, unable to sleep. Suddenly, an idea came to her. If only he could stop humanity. Attacked the Zombie King, so that both sides can coexist peacefully. Qinyan brought back 3 teams. And Mo Hao, whose entire army was wiped out. The Zombie King demon has multiple 4th-tier evolved zombies. And the demon vine will attack humans. Qian Yun said in a trembling voice. The news spread. The Supreme Commander immediately decided to seek reinforcements from the Imperial capital. Yun Ruoxue convinced me to unchain Su Muqing. Su Muqing then suggested she have a chat with me. Inside the living room, Su Muqing got straight to the point. Zombie King, you also possess human consciousness. Is that right? My eyes were cold. This is my biggest secret. I wrote, I won't kill you. Continue. Su Muqing took a deep breath. After all, Xiao Qiqi is human. You don't want her to spend her whole life living with zombies, do you? That sentence left me speechless. If one day, I became the leader of the human race, are you willing to live peacefully with humanity? Yin Ruoxue and I were both stunned by those words. But I didn't refuse outright. Wait until you truly become the leader of the human race. The next day, Yin Ruoxue decided to reveal part of her strength in front of me, so I can relax and untie Su Muqing. Father, I think I've awakened my superpowers. She spread her arms and flew around the room. I was overwhelmed with excitement. Xiao Qiqi has become an evolver. I began to seriously nurture Xiao Qiqi. Let her practice attacking with iron nails. He prepared poison needles for her as hidden weapons. Xiao Qiqi is my biggest trump card. Let her practice attacking with iron nails. He prepared poison needles for her as hidden weapons. Xiao Qiqi is my biggest trump card. Jianghai Base City. Finally, the response from the capital arrived. Send the Sky Squad to support them. The entire Sky Squad consists of 3rd-tier evolutionary flyers. A a formation consisting of 5 armed helicopters, flying in quickly, launched a fierce bombing of the farm. Damn it, my farm. But the corpse of the 4th rank happened to be unharmed and without a lamb. Flame number 1 and flame number 2 transform into flame giants, condensing into a net of fire that blotches the sky. Trap the Sky Squad in the air. Undyne number 1's bloodthirsty thunderball, and the bloodthirsty divine light, combined with Tyrant number 1's steel claw, continuously killing the breakout evolvers. Yun Ruashue was in the darkness. Use time to control your abilities, combined with poison needles. Defeated multiple enemies rushing toward the house. Su Muqing desperately protected Xiao Qiqi, pierced in the abdomen, and collapsed into a pool of blood. But she was quickly revived. Continued to engage in battle. 3 elite teams, plus sky teams. Annihilated. Only Qian Yun, who possesses the ability to act as a substitute. Escape again. The farm was destroyed beyond recognition. I decided not to rebuild anymore. This has already been exposed. Where will Xiao Qiqi go from now on? That is home. I wrote on paper. Su Muqing chose not to stay. Come with us. After the convoy left the farm, all the way south, arrived at Beichen City. I raised the corpse tied to harvest and evolve zombies. At the same time, he destroyed the Longhu gang entrenched in the area. Zhang Qing, the second in command of the Longhu gang, and a flying evolver escapes, reported when he ran to Beichen base. After I cleared out all the evolved zombies in Beichen City, the convoy set off again. After breaking through to the 5th tier, my mental strength surged. The handling range exceeds 50 kilometers. There are already 3 5th-tier corpse puppets under the demonic rank, but the city of Shanchuan is completely different. Ferocious beasts are everywhere. I led the corpse puppet army to hunt fierce beasts in the city. A large number of crystal cores were harvested. After destroying the Beast King sect entrenched in Sanyue Mountain, I came from their cave. They looted a large amount of supplies and vegetables before the Beast King's sect's guardian died, mentioning the cult leader going to subdue a tier 5 ferocious beast. This made me wary. Huang Xian, leader of the Beast King sect. Sure enough, it came knocking. Before the apocalypse, this person was just a lone shark thug, rising after awakening its pre-sale capability. His sister was driven to death by the powerful. He wanted to borrow the power of the thunderous roar, destroy the Yamakawa Bay City. We have a common enemy. Let's join forces. Su Muqing decisively refused. Excuse me. I'm not interested. After Huang Xian was left speechless, that night, they sent mutated pangolins. Launch a surprise attack on Xiao Qiqi from underground. But Yun Ruashue would kill the pangolin with one strike. Terrified, Huang Xian fled in panic, and we leaked our location to Jianghai Bay City. Yun Ruashue is in Shanjia City. Successfully broke through to Tier 5. Mental power control. It can even gather tangible telekinesis needles and pierce through walls. Time control. He also awakened to the profound art of time. It can cause the target to instantly exhaust. Su Muqing, with the dual support of cultivation techniques and practical combat. Breakthrough to the 4th tier. From now on, Aunt Xiaolin will be called Black Bull Knight. No way. Absolutely not. Su Muqing bristled. The Imperial capital sent out its strongest ace, the Tunglong team. This team once successfully killed the Zombie King. The key figure is the disguiser Zhao Bing. The Imperial capital sent out its strongest ace, the Tunglong team. This team once successfully killed the Zombie King. The key figure is the disguiser Zhao Bing. Can disguise itself as any living being. Inside the enemy ranks of Hunba, their plan was to repeat the same trick. The periphery draws attention. Zhao Bing disguised himself as a zombie and infiltrated the area. After finding the Zombie King, a single strike kills it. One night, Yun Ruashue finally mustered up the courage to confess to me. Dad, actually, I know how to manage time. She used her power to make a pot hose wither instantly. A piece of snake meat instantly dried up and turned into stone. I was shocked, even more curious. But Xiao Qiqi revealed an even more astonishing truth. Dad, actually, I'm already a 5th level evolver. I was completely stunned, but didn't ask. As long as she's my daughter, that's enough. Dad, I'll protect you from now on. Xiao Qiqi raised her little fist, smiled brightly. I rubbed her head. My heart felt warm and proud. After the convoy entered Lijiang City, as usual, I controlled the corpse puppets to harvest zombie crystal cores. But Lijiang Bay City responded extremely quickly. Deploy all your forces. They launched a fierce assault on Henji community. Flame number 1 is immune to physical attacks thanks to its fire spirit body, but a salvo of self-propelled howitzers. It caught me completely off guard. At the moment of a critical moment, Yun Ruashue flew into a rage and attacked. No one can hurt my dad. Time control. Full explosion. All shells return their original path under telekinesis. This directly wiped out the heavy artillery regiment's position. The survivors fled in panic. But I was hunted down by my army of corpse puppets. Only one evolver teleported away while holding the commander. This battle, the Lijiang Bei-style offensive forces were almost completely wiped out. I watched the terrifying power Xiao Qi displayed. The Lijiang Bei-style offensive forces were almost completely wiped out. I watched the terrifying power Xiao Qi displayed. He felt immense pride as soon as she made her move and left humanity utterly defeated. Any fifth-rank corpse puppet under the demon. None of them are necessarily her match. And far away, Tunglong Team's helicopter. It is flying toward Yamakawa City. That Zhao soldier who could disguise himself as any living being. He was wiping the battle knife in his hand, with a confident smile on his face. The captain was relieved. This mission, I promised to finish. After the Battle of the Li River, I sat on the sofa in the living room. He scanned the surroundings through the corpse puppet's perspective. Dad, we can't stay here any longer. Yun Ruoxue walked over to my side, with a serious expression. I nodded. I have thought of this for a long time. That battle, just now. Although we won, but the cost of exposure is too high. Su Muqing walked over from the window. His face was still covered in the dust left by battle. Lin Moyen, I have to leave quickly. The reaction speed of Lijiang Bay City was just too fast. If they bring reinforcements, we might be surrounded. Half an hour later, the convoy sped south along the main road in downtown Lijiang. I specifically chose one. Routes away from base cities. High-altitude reconnaissance by Flight 1. I confirmed the remnants of the Lijiang Bay City. There are currently no signs of pursuit. The convoy drove at full speed for 2 hours. Finally, the car left the Lijiang urban area. Father, where do we go next? Yin Ruoxue lay on the window of the back seat, her little face pressed against the glass, looking outside. I spread out the map. His gaze swept across the territory of Jiang Province. To the south lies Linan City. Further south, they would leave Jiang Province. Between the base cities of Jiang Province, an intelligence network has already been formed. My whereabouts can't be hidden at all. But once outside Jiang Province, information transmission between base cities and different provinces is much slower. When the time comes, the other provinces will react. I have long since lost track of where, and departed from Jiang Province. Su Muqing was a bit shocked. Leaving the province. That's a long way to go. Better to keep it farther. Yin Ruoxue answered for me. Stay in Jiang Province. Sooner or later, it will be found. Su Muqing thought for a moment. He didn't object anymore. The convoy continued south. Along the way, I casually harvested a batch of zombie crystal cores. In the evening, we set up camp next to an abandoned gas station. The reed fires rose. Su Muqing picked up a piece of grilled rib for Xiao Qi. He took a big gulp of beer himself. Xiao Qi, what do you think your dad is good at cooking? Before the apocalypse, is it a chef? Maybe. Yun Ruoxue smiled as she took the ribs. I sat in the front passenger seat, flipping through the map. From here to the border of Jiang Province. About 200 kilometers to go. But the problem is, on this stretch of road, there's a city you can't avoid in Linan. The urban area of Linan spans north to south. It's almost impossible to bypass it. They could only pass through the city. And Linan City must have a base city. I frowned. If the Lijiang Bay City had already spread the news, Linan Bay City is very likely already in the Yinjin area. When the time comes, we can cross the city. It might just turn into another fierce battle. Yin Ruoxue seemed to notice my concern. He ran over with small steps. Leaning over the car window, I peeked out the map. Dad was thinking about Linan City. I nodded. Feel relieved. I'm here. I nodded. Feel relieved. I'm here. She clenched her little fists. His gaze was serious. This little guy, I couldn't help but laugh. He reached out and pinched her little cheek. But in this brief moment of peace, I viewed it from the perspective of Flight 1. It was caught on the northern weather line. There are small black dots. It was rapidly approaching us from high above. My expression instantly turned cold. Not a Lijiang base-type helicopter. Zhao Lin took Xiao Qi into the car. I tossed the note to Su Muqing. Su Muqing didn't hesitate. He picked up Yin Ruoxue and ran to the car. Yin Ruoxue's gaze narrowed slightly. 3 helicopters. Not from the Li River. Su Muqing's expression also changed. But the helicopter hovered several kilometers north for a while. He disappeared from sight. I didn't let my guard down. Pilot's flight number 1 quietly followed for a while. From the perspective of Flight 1, I saw 7 well-equipped soldiers get off the helicopter. The leader among them was a crew-cut man. He exuded the aura of a 4th-tier being. After the 7 people got off the helicopter, they set up camp right there. These people are not simple. These people are either elite troops from a large base, or sent by the Imperial capital. Thinking of the Imperial capital, my heart tightened after I wiped out the Sky Squad at Qingshui Farm. This time, the one coming might be the second ace of the capital. I decided to hold off for now. Let Flight 1 continue to monitor its movements. At the same time, control the convoy to stall. Hidden in the dark. After the 7-person team set up camp, they frequently check the map and the actions of the documents. Definitely carrying out some kind of mission. This is no coincidence. They came for me. Yun Ruoxue wasn't asleep either. He sat cross-legged on the back seat to cultivate. Feel the changes in my emotions. Dad has a problem. I wrote on paper. A 7-person squad arrived from the north. Well-equipped. Suspected to be someone from the Imperial capital. Maybe they came looking for us. Yun Ruoxue finished watching, frowning slightly. If it's the ace team from the Imperial capital, there are very likely people with special abilities inside. Last time, the Sky Squad was all flying types. This time, there might be something even more tricky. This is also what worries me the most. Suddenly, in the 7-person team, a tall, thin young man left the camp. He walked alone into the nearby forest. After he entered the forest, the aura on his body. Suddenly, the breath of a human emerges. The aura of a zombie transformation. This person can disguise himself as a zombie. Moment. I immediately understood their tactics. If I didn't know beforehand, this disguiser might successfully blend into the corpse puppet team. When he got close to me, he suddenly struck. The previous zombie king. It was very likely that he was killed this way. Xiao Qi is in trouble. I told Yun Ruoxue about the disguiser. After Yun Ruoxue finished reading, his expression grew extremely serious. Disguise yourself as a zombie. The innocence on her little face faded. Instead, there's a sharp gaze. This ability is indeed tricky. If his disguise is perfect enough, Dad, your mental strength, they might not even be able to tell the difference. But I can. Her tone was calm and confident. Time control. It can sense the flow of time for all living beings. The flow of time between zombies and humans is different. Time control. It can sense the flow of time for all living beings. The flow of time between zombies and humans is different. The aging process inside the zombie body had stopped. And no matter how humans disguise themselves, the flow of time inside the body is normal. As long as I carefully sense it, he will definitely be able to bring him out. I felt a wave of relief in my heart. But I still don't want to underestimate the enemy. We changed plans. I wrote on paper. Not going to Linen City. Detouring through the mountain roads to leave the province. Su Muqing also woke up at this moment. Rubbing her eyes, she leaned in to look at the note. Detour. That would take several more days to walk. Walking a few more days is better than being ambushed. Su Muqing glanced at their expressions. He didn't ask further. It's not dawn yet. I deliberately chose a remote mountain path. This path is extremely difficult to walk, but the advantage is that it is highly concealed. But I underestimated their tracking ability. After the convoy had been driving for about 3 hours, I got the news. That 7-man team had already left camp. It is moving south. The direction runs parallel to our route. They are following us. High-altitude view from Flight 1. I found a mutated fierce bird. It was circling high above the convoy. Shoot and kill this fierce bird. It would easily alert the enemy. It is very likely that they will immediately change their strategy. From ambush to strong assault. Think for a moment. Since they wanted to assassinate with the disguiser, then I'll do it. I told Yun Ruoxue and Su Muqing the plan. Dad, what do you mean? Deliberately exposing flaws. Lure the disguiser, infiltrate. Then it was all swept away. Su Muqing hesitated a little. The risk is too great. What if that disguiser's ability happened? It's even stronger than we imagined. With me here, he can't turn the world around. Yun Ruoxue patted her small chest. Su Muqing looked at Chi-Chi. Remembering yesterday, she reversed the scene of all the heavy artillery regiment's shells. He silently shut his mouth. As planned, the convoy arrives in the evening. They camped in an open river valley. I deliberately arranged only a small number of corpse figurines. He hid high-level corpse puppets in the surrounding forests. From the outside, the entire camp's defense was riddled with holes. After 8 nights, I sat by the reed fire, pretending to relax. In fact, his mental power was fully unleashed. Yun Ruoxue lay in the tent sleeping. In fact, time control has always been in a state of sensing. Su Muqing, on the other hand, was really sleeping. At midnight, my mental power detected something unusual. Outside the camp, an ordinary zombie was slowly approaching. His appearance was no different from any other zombie, but his route was too deliberate. He bypassed the patrolling corpse dolls, walking along the defensive gap toward the core of the camp. I didn't startle the snake. Instead, He continued to pretend he was completely unaware. The zombies were getting closer and closer. They had already reached the edge of the camp. His gaze swept around the reed fire. In the end, it locked onto me. He charged at me, holding a short knife. Just as the disguiser was about 5 meters away from me, the disguiser's time has stopped. Yun Ruoshua stepped out of the tent. Her face was icy cold. Sure enough, it's human, she said calmly. There is no time flow inside the zombie's body. His heart was still beating. I stood up. He walked up to the disguiser to examine him. This person's disguise. From appearance to aura. His heart was still beating. I stood up. He walked up to the disguiser to examine him. This person's disguise. From appearance to aura. Almost unbeatable. If it weren't for Yun Ruoshue's control over time, I might not be able to see through it right away. The next moment, I released my mental power. For the 5th-rank corpse puppets hidden in the forest. The signal for a full-scale attack. Meanwhile, several kilometers away, in a temporary camp for a 7-person squad, they instantly sensed an overwhelming murderous aura. The sentry was exposed. Leading them was Qin Hung, a crew cut man. His expression changed dramatically. He suddenly stood up. Everyone is ready for battle. But it was too late. The fire spirit blood flame of flame number 1 arrived first. In less than 10 seconds, the 3 helicopters transformed into 3 massive fireballs. The escape route was cut off. One evolver's face was deathly pale. Undead number 1 followed closely behind. Blood red light, an evolved being cast out of power. The man felt his body was out of control, flying toward undying number 1. The next moment, the blood spirit serpent had already pierced through his chest. Flight 1 dove down from high altitude. Deploy the flying domain. Under the cover of the spherical hysteresis domain, the ranged attacks unleashed by the 2 evolvers instantly slowed down. Its power drops sharply to almost 0. But Flying 1's steel claws remain unaffected. Qin Heng's ability is metallization on the surface of his body. His entire body is covered in a layer of silver metal armor. Extremely strong defense. Erpang smashed down with his staff. That metal armor, although it is sunken, but it didn't shatter. But the second stick followed closely. The metal armor exploded. Qin Hung spat blood and was thrown flying. It hasn't landed yet. Undying number 1's long tongue had already caught up. Qin Hung died on the spot. I viewed it from the corpse puppet's perspective. A 7-person squad has been confirmed. None of them returned. At the same time as he breathed a sigh of relief, I walked back to the camp to watch. The disguiser is still frozen in place. How to deal with him? Su Muqing was also awakened by the commotion. He came out wearing a coat. Shocked. Killed. Yun Ruoshua said calmly. She waved her hand. A telekinetic needle pierced the disguiser's forehead. Time control is lifted. The disguiser's body collapsed weakly to the ground, restored to human form. Su Muqing came down. A document was found in the inner pocket of the corpse's chest. Tunglong squad. There was little emotion in my heart. But Yun Ruoshua's reaction surprised me a bit. She stared at the document for a long time. The Imperial capital sent 2 ace teams in succession. All were completely wiped out. Next, they probably won't send any more teams. What will be sent? Army. Yun Ruoshua looked up. The gaze is deep. Toward the Imperial capital. Once the news of 2 ace teams being wiped out is confirmed, my father would be listed as the highest threat level. By then, the intensity of the pursuit will multiply. The annihilation of 2 ace teams. It would only make the capital side more convinced. The danger of the Zombie King. They will not give up. They only increase the price. So we must act as soon as possible. I wrote on paper. That night, the convoy set off overnight. No longer lingering. I had Flight 1 conduct continuous reconnaissance at high altitude. Make sure there are no pursuers following you. Just as they were about to reach the outskirts of Linen City, I decided not to take any detours, directly piercing through the city. Detour by at least 5 extra days. Stay in the wilderness for an extra 5 days. That's an extra 5 days of risk. Although Linen City has a base city, but the city area is vast. Just choose a route far from the base city to pass quickly. But the city area is vast. Just choose a route far from the base city to pass quickly. The probability of being discovered is not high. I released my mental power in advance. He controlled all the zombies along the way. Let them make way for the convoy. The entire convoy moved through the dark city streets. No sound was made. The convoy successfully passed through most sections of Linen City. Ahead is the southern exit of the city. At this moment, Flight 1 sent back urgent intelligence. On the elevated bridge at the southern exit of the city, a convoy of military convoys was parked. Several armored vehicles and military trucks were straddled across the bridge deck. This formed a barrier along the way. Snipers were also deployed on the buildings on both sides of the bridgehead. It is a unit from Linen-based city. But upon closer inspection, I found out these military personnel were not in a state of tense readiness for war. Linen-based city. Perhaps after receiving a report of the zombie king's presence. At the main entrance, checkpoints have been set up. Father, you can't pass through here. Yin Roashua said. Even if they could get through, there is too much movement. It will attract pursuers from the entire base city. I agree. Detour. The convoy changed direction, turned into a narrow, deviated alley, and migrated westward. Through the map, I was preparing to pass through the industrial zone in the western part of Linen City. From there, exit the city via the ring road. But the road conditions in the industrial zone are extremely poor. Collapsed factory buildings and blocked vehicles were everywhere. After 20 minutes, the convoy drove out of the industrial zone, arriving at the ring road. Just when I thought I was about to escape, suddenly, the roar of a helicopter came from behind. 3 armed helicopters flew in from the direction of the city. The beams of searchlights swept through the night, searching for something. Hasten. My mind moved. The convoy suddenly accelerated. The helicopter quickly caught up. The spotlight locked onto the convoy. Immediately after, the cannon opened fire. The bullet hit the road at the rear of the convoy. Sparks splashed everywhere. The convoy ahead immediately stopped for inspection. Otherwise, we will open fire. I ignored it. Flame number 1 flew out from the convoy. It transformed into a streak of crimson light and shot toward the helicopter formation. Amid the massive explosion, the fire was sky-high. The remains scattered and fell everywhere. The searchlight went out. Tracking interruption. The convoy sped at full speed across the city boundary. Disappeared into the vast night. Came out. Su Muching let out a long breath. But my heart didn't settle. Linen-based city. They will definitely report the convoy's direction. The journey ahead. Against the clock. The convoy sprinted all the way. At dawn, finally, I saw the border markers between Zhang province and neighboring provinces. But at the very moment the convoy crossed the provincial line, Flight 1 transmitted an image from high altitude. It instantly froze my smile. On a hilltop on the southern side of the provincial border, Huang Xian stood there, looking down at the convoy crossing the provincial border. He just watched from afar. It seems to be tracking and observing. Yin Ruoxue also noticed Huang Xian's presence. A trace of coldness flashed across her little face. This person is dangerous. He won't give up. Should we deal with him first? I shook my head. Huang Xian's mutated pangolin. Although we killed him. But he himself is a beast tamer. Who knows what hidden trump cards he might have hidden with. But now is not the best time to deal with him. Leaving the province. Everything must be considered in the long run. I wrote. The convoy continued south. They drove into the borders of neighboring provinces. After leaving Jiang province, road conditions have clearly improved, although the wide highway was also congested, but it was far less rugged than the previous mountain paths. 3 days later, we arrived in Yunzhou City in the neighboring province. Before the end of Yunzhou City, it is a large city with a population of 3 million. It has now become a zombie territory. But for me, this is a vast treasure trove. 3 million people means a huge number of zombies. A large number of zombies. This means a large number of evolved zombies and crystal cores. Moreover, this place is far from Zhang province. Messaging is slow. For the short term, there's no need to worry about human-based style pursuits. After the convoy drove through downtown Baiyun Prefecture, as usual, I stirred up a tide of corpses to sweep the surroundings. Harvesting crystal cores one by one, Yin Ruoxue hurried to cultivate herself. At the same time, she feeds her old bird turtle. After these days of accumulation, the old turtle finally succeeded in advancing to Tier 4. Its size is so large that it can set up a table on the turtle's back to play cards. Su Muching wasn't idle either. Every day, she rides the mutated black ox Dahe, going out to hunt fierce beasts. Strength steadily improved. At the same time, she continued to practice the 9 yuan meridian refining technique taught by Yin Ruoxue. His aura grew even deeper, and I used that time. Advanced the corpse puppet team under his command. By harvesting zombie crystal cores in Yunzhou City, I also raised multiple 4th-tier corpse puppets. His strength, even when facing a medium-sized base head-on. I also have confidence, but I just want to find a safe place. Let Xiao Qiqi grow. Unfortunately, on the 5th night of our stay in Yunzhou City, but I just want to find a safe place. Let Xiao Qiqi grow. Unfortunately, on the 5th night of our stay in Yunzhou City, I conducted high-altitude reconnaissance through Flight 1. Discovered the northwest direction of Yunzhou City. There's a large fleet. Moving this way, several dozen military vehicles, armored vehicles, and tanks. and escorted by 6 attack helicopters. At the center of the convoy, there are also several command vehicles with special markings. Their direction was directly aimed at downtown Yinzhou. The news still reached here. My heart sank. The capital authorities have already issued a wanted notice for the Zombie King. It expanded to neighboring provinces. This unit, it was very likely a base city in a neighboring province. After receiving the report, formation of encirclement and suppression forces. But it is not ruled out. Huang Xian took my position. He revealed it to the base city here. Either case, I can't even stay here. Su Muqing had already gotten used to this nowhere to live. Silently, he began to pack his things. Yin Ruoxua walked to the window, looking at the quiet city streets outside. Father, we can't keep running away like this. I know she's right. But right now, what else could he do but run? One day, no need to run anymore. Yin Ruoxua turned her head. He gave me a smile. In that smile, she possesses a calmness and determination far beyond her years. In the early morning, the convoy disappeared into the night of Yinzhou City. And tens of kilometers away, that grand military convoy was still advancing, directing inside the carriage. A middle-aged man with a stern face. He was flipping through a document. The cover of the document is stamped with a red top-secret seal. The title is only 5 characters. Zombie King Archives. The man closed the document. He looked into the distance. In the darkness of Yinzhou City. This time, you can't run away.